that Victor could be one of the players that we're going to talk about now because he was doing a good job. Lights out on Mirage. Let's actually bring up some stats at the moment. He was doing a really, really good job. And as he was saying there, he is feeling confident even against Gambit.
Yeah, it's like,
healthy competitor's mindset.
Yeah, you could do the talk, but then try to do the walk is a different thing when you play Gambit, but good luck with that. But in this game, good to see Victor and Red Star kind of stealing the spotlight. We were talking about Hard and we were talking about Dreamer before the game, that those are the two big hitters. Yes, they were definitely part of the conversation all the time in terms of this game, but Victor was a surprise factor, and if he can keep on contributing, it'll definitely help this team playing against the best out there.
Yeah, for sure. This game gave me also a lot of confidence into Fiend as a team, seeing them succeeding also with Victor and Red Star contributing. It wasn't just a Dreamer and a Harn show. The two other players and even Bubble had his moments on Mirage there. So it gives me a little bit more confidence. Of course, I don't want to go too deep into that final discussion because we don't know for certain the opponent there. But assuming it's going to be Gambit, these are just nice storylines. But that's going to be really tough for Fiend.
Yeah, and before we go to the Cool Bet MVP, I just want to ask a quick question. Were there anybody doing anything right on Lyngby's side, looking good, or anything like that?
It's kind of hard to say that someone was trying to do their best in carrying the team, because I felt like none of the names that we thought would be up there to try help put them through into the final were not contributing in the way that you'd expect. Wolfie comes into my mind as the first one. You need to have him activated time after time. Fuzzer, another one. Monks had some moments here and there, but so far at least the evidence for me says he's not consistently being able to contribute in that fashion where he can take the whole team to his backpack and carry them over the finish line. So I guess the conclusion is that none of them really looked like they'd be world beaters today.
Yeah, and as the little bird just told me that we have our Cool Bet MVP.
Let's go.
Bird from Sky, maybe, yeah. It is Victor. It shouldn't surprise you. He was doing really well, and those are his Mirage stats. So, guys, tear this one up.
Yeah. No, I mean, he already went through this a little bit, but yeah, he had a banging game, and if he can keep this kind of form up as an individual, it'll definitely help them in the finals of this tournament and also looking further into it. Let's see if he can continue that trend.
Yeah,
great game. Great game for Victor. Nothing to add there.
Yeah, he was doing good, and those tattoos just looking great as always. And I think it's a good time for us to check the leaderboard, check out what's actually been going on.
Or should we call it the bracket?
Or
I think it's a bracket.
Yeah, bracket.
Okay. I think it's a bracket. Yeah. Maybe we'll say the bracket. Who knows?
Yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah, let's go with the bracket. Okay, so it's Gambit going against Copenhagen Flames at the moment, and Fiend, finding themselves a win 2-0, which we just actually saw. So does it surprise you that
Fiend's in the final now?
Yeah, there they are.
Magic.
Does it surprise you that they actually got to the finals?
Yes, of course it did, because they beat Big 2-0. Always a possibility, but it's still a surprise. Then Lyngby beating N, so they didn't have to face another invited team in the semi-phase, taking care of that. But they deserve to be where they are, quite simply. And it seems to be a trend that continues. The Bulgarian team shall be in the finals of ELISA Invitational.
Yeah, you can only beat what's ahead of you in this bracket format. I think the other side of the bracket we talked about, it's a little bit probably more competitive with Gambit and Copenhagen Flames. I think that would be a banging final, but one of those teams is going to drop out in the semis. And hey, Fiend is in the final. I like it.
Okay, and before we actually see the finals, we have to watch the first game before that, which is Copenhagen Flames versus Gambit. And before that, we have a little bit of a longer break. So we're going to go to the commercials now, have a break, and we'll see you after that.
Red Bull Flick Invitational comes to Helsinki in November. Amateurs challenges the top names in Counter-Strike like Alexi B and Valk, Dota and Diha, Nico and Hunter. Come and witness live the race for 50,000 euros. Get your tickets now at redbull.fi/flick. Red Bull Flick Invitational comes to Helsinki in November. Amateurs challenges the top names in Counter-Strike like Alexi B and Valk, Dota and Diha, Nico and Hunter. Come and witness live the race for 50,000 euros. Get your tickets now at redbull.fi/flick.
And for the next game for today, we have Gambit versus Copenhagen Flames. This should be one of the more higher tier games that we are actually waiting for. Am I right, guys?
Yeah, it should be pretty solid. We got a number 2 in the world, and what's Flames right
15?
now? 15 in the world. So in that sense, for sure, this should be a good game and a great test for Copenhagen Flames, who've just qualified for the major. Now they're here in the semifinals and on definitely trending up right now. But might be a bit of a tall order to go up against the Gambit that barely ever really seems to be losing against teams or in games where, well, they're not expected to lose. So it'll be a tall task, and we're gonna need much more from Copenhagen Flames than what we saw yesterday, because they were scrambling against Fnatic.
Yeah. Bobo, are you hyped?
For sure, I'm hyped. I'm always hyped to watch Gambit. You always know you're going to see close to perfect Counter-Strike being played, and that's and not to mention their Copenhagen Flames. I mean, in that Fnatic game on Overpass, they were 11-4 down after the first half, and that's just the type of scoreline you can't get away with when you play Gambit. Yesterday, they were against Fnatic with a player from their academy team, and Fnatic, we know they've been hit or miss, mostly miss in the last few weeks. Gambit, they're not gonna let you come back from a scoreline like that.
Yeah, not many 2-on-4s you're gonna be winning.
No,
against Gambit, I believe.
No, and I like the word test that we already talked about here. This is a test for Copenhagen Flames, but also Nafani from Gambit mentioned in the winner interview that this tournament, the teams here are a great test for them also to maybe find their weaknesses, because we all know that these teams are also ramping up for the big major that's coming up in a week and a half. So the test is real for both of these teams.
Yeah, and thus Copenhagen Flames have to be extra on fire this time for them to have a chance against Gambit, sorry. Fnatic.
Well, of course, like I'm looking like players like Roy. Well, his consistency himself, he has to be there. Also, Jabby yesterday saved Copenhagen Flames a couple of times. So, I mean, this is one of those matches where everything will have to go perfectly. The individuals have to be there. Most of the calls have to be perfect. You can't overextend. You can't be afraid. Like, there are so many things that have to go right today for Copenhagen Flames that it's kind of hard to see that that's gonna happen.
Yeah, and as we're talking about Copenhagen Flames, we do have an interview, and it's from Huxi.
Yeah, I would say that there's a small difference to the mood in general, and this is what happens to most players, is that it is a little bit harder to tilt when you're not at home, and when you're sitting face to face and we can see each other, we can hype each other up. In general, the mood is just better, and I think that goes for a lot of teams. But yeah, also I just feel like getting to try to play in this environment also teaches us some lessons before we went into the games where the other teams have the same conditions as us. I think that also helped a lot, and I was actually surprised that we did so well against a team in the caliber of AGO, for example. Well, on the negative end, I don't think there's too much yet. We haven't been at LAN together for too long yet, so that will probably come if we pull them at lines and bootcamp for 2 months straight. But but I think that on the positive note, in general, it's just cool to meet everyone and kind of mesh together and just be around each other all the time, and you basically get to learn how people are dealing with things, problems, etc. Like a good game, a bad game. So yeah, I just think that is mostly positive, at least. Yeah, for sure. If you have to compare the two, I think it's very hard because it is a lot of different people. Like, it's only me and Roy from Madline, so but this team and the synergy on this team is also extremely nice, and I think the biggest difference from the Mad Lions team and this is that well, I love Flames as an organization, and I feel like it's a little bit more like Mad Lions was a little bit more like a cold-hearted business, and we were like a bit more of a top team, you know. So the expectations were maybe a bit bigger, and with that, it's also just a bigger company, and I guess there was a little bit more pressure. Here, it's more like a family. When we're done with matches, I go on Discord and talk to 10 different people from Flames in different positions in the organization, and none of them, or a lot of them at least, don't have anything to do with us if they didn't want to, but people are supporting each other left and right in this organization, and that just feels great.
Yeah, that was Huxi, and he had some spicy words to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds a little worrying if in an organization, you know, people, regardless of their position and what they do, everyone should be, it's, you know, all pulling the same rope at the end of the day, no matter how big or small the organization is. So, but yeah, I mean, it's good for him that he's found a home that he can call home, and the support they're getting from Copenhagen Flames seems to be helping them out, looking at the scoreboard.
Yeah, and talking about good homes at the moment, it seems to be a really good home at, well, here are his stats also. It's Hooksy on the screen. Rasmus Nielsen. This time I actually said it pretty well.
Congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
And he's the game leader of this lineup. So the numbers, sure, they're decent and everything, but he's not the highest impact we're looking for in this lineup either. But he can definitely chime in. He can have his moments on an individual level as well. But he's the biggest part of this guy in this team is the IGL.
Yeah, and like I was just about to talk about good organizations, there is one still that we have to hear about, and it's Nafani from Gambit.
I don't know how to answer it, to be honest, just because it's okay when we're playing like a lot of tournaments, because it's like when you're playing a lot of tournaments, you understand how to play versus any team, and you're focused on your game like always, but you don't have much time to change some strategies, and a lot of teams understand how to play versus you. But also when you have like not too much tournaments, you have like this time to change something, but you don't have like time to be every tournament in good form, I will say. It's like not. It's a bit stressful when you at top tier and a lot of people have like some expectation from you. Of course, it's like a bit. Maybe it's a pressure, to be honest. I don't know, but it's like a bit hard to. If you understand that you can ruin some expectation from other people, it's a bit tough, I will say. But overall, for me, it's not like something big when you play in LAN or online. It's literally the same for me. And when you're on LAN, a lot of people makes a lot of mistakes. So that's why for me, LAN is like better than online, I will say. It's hard to say because it's like my path. So I can say something like with some truly, I will say, because when you were watching from the side, you will be more right than me. So from my view, I will say it was hard, and it's like everyone in our team must say big thank you for Groove and Fiend, our coaches, because it's more about them. They make like a lot for us and still making. So yeah, I will say that if we will take like our path, it's more about our coaches.
Yet again, some nice words from Nafani. Robert, what do you think about that?
Well, the thing that stuck out to me was Nafani kind of saying that you can, when there are like a lot of these online tournaments, you can't expect to perform well in all of these. But I think for Gambit, that's not even true. I think like no matter the tournament, no matter the game, Gambit is always bringing the heat on the server. And I think a pretty good example of that was the match against Navi in the CIS RMR finals. A match, well...
Didn't matter anything, right?
Didn't matter anything, but Gambit still brought it. So I think that's a pretty good example where like Gambit is they're just going to bring the heat every single time.
Yeah, and looking at his rating at the moment, it's 1.08, and he has a little bit of impact at the moment too.
Yeah, if we compare these two in-game leaders, Hooksy and Nafani, I think it's pretty clear that Nafani brings a little bit more firepower onto the server, and especially on those opening duels, he's always creating space for his team. I'm thinking of Vertigo. He's just being a nuisance for the other team, just rushing that A ramp, maybe going to the alleyway there, and always causing mayhem for the opponents.
Yeah, I think just to grab on the online stuff, I mean, Gambit obviously still has work to do when it comes to the LAN environment. They you always kind of looking at Gambit in the last 18 months, it's been so amazing, and then in Cologne they were not nearly as good. So it's going to be very curious to see when LAN hits again with the major.
Yeah, and it's an amazing opportunity for them to get to the major and play their first LAN tournament with this roster.
Hey, listen, last time there was a PGL major, a team called Gambit won.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, okay. Leaking.
Hobbit. No same play. Oh, all right, Hobbit.
Hobbit was there.
Yeah.
Come on.
1 out of the 5. That's enough. Well, we are going to the map vetoes at the moment. So, any predictions where we're going to land?
Yeah, Gambit's always banning that nuke, so I think that's a pretty clear sign for them. And as for Copenhagen Flames, they've been banning out Dust too, so I think the bans are pretty clear. As for the picks, that's where it gets a little bit more interesting. Gambit, I could see them going for a few different options, maybe an overpass, maybe a Mirage, maybe in a Vertigo, but this. Yes, as you heard, I mentioned a few maps there, so that just tells of the wide map pool Gambit has.
Yeah, they have the luxury of kind of going through Copenhagen Flames' map pool and look at the different maps, and look at what they feel is the weakness over there. So it's going to be interesting to see what they pick.
As for Copenhagen Flames, I think an Ancient. Yep, absolutely.
Oh yeah, we can went through the Ancient makes sense.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, Copenhagen Flames, we've talked about this already, but again, it's good to mention this in the semifinals. Maybe have some new viewers, but Copenhagen Flames just absolutely banging out people on Ancient, just 80% win rate over 20 maps. So they play it out, and they win it a lot.
Yeah, and before these picks, I was actually about to ask you guys that when you're a team like Copenhagen Flames, do you play to the strengths of yourself, or do you just ban the best map from Gambit? And I think we just got the answer right here.
I mean, the Dust 2 ban has been going for them in other matchups too. So so far we haven't seen any surprises. Let's see how everything pans out for the third one. I would imagine for Copenhagen Flames, okay, they go for an Inferno ban. Okay, I think an overpass for a third map would be okay for Gambit.
Yeah, again, just luxury. Gambit can do anything here, and a third map. It's also kind of hard to see. Even though Copenhagen Flames, they do have a chance. Maybe their best chance in all throughout this best of 3 series will be on Ancient. But even that, I think Gambit's playstyle is so good. It just fits every map. They can make it work on any map given. I'd be also interested to one day see Gambit's nuke. Even though they have permabandit forever, I think they'd be good also on that map. But hey, you can ban one, so you don't have to play 7 maps, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and before we go to the first map, which is Ancient, I do want to ask you guys a little bit about these choices at the moment. Does it look good for Copenhagen Flames at the moment?
I don't know if it looked any better or worse before or after, to be fair. There are the underdogs, heavy underdogs here. Gambit is like a machine. And they, like I said before already, they rarely ever falter against teams that are way below them. 15th is very good in terms of ranking, but Gambit is number 2 in the world right now.
Okay, and as Ancient is our first map on the pool, this is going to be a tough one. Good percentage at the moment for Copenhagen Flames. What has to go right?
I want to see them start off well here. To be fair, I want to see Jabby bringing the headshots in, the same calmness we've seen before. Roy to be the contributor in steadily putting in a lot of ADR. But like I said, yesterday was a bit of a flimsy game from Copenhagen Flames. Like they needed heroics to get over the second map. So they need to have a better game going.
Okay, any quick words?
Yeah, of course. A quick start. That's what Copenhagen needs.
Yeah, it is going to be one of those games. And we do have some key points too. I'm going to let you shine on this one. Robu, take us away.
Well, not Lyngby Vikings, but Copenhagen Flames obviously has been really good, but Gambit is an elite team. There are just a handful elite level teams in the world, in my opinion. Gambit is one of those, so it's a whole other level that Copenhagen Flames has to compete here. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about the test. That's just like the word we've loved throughout this tournament. And this is just a whole new test for the Flames. And I think they need full focus in every round. Gambit is going to push you. They play that suffocating style where they don't give you many opportunities. When you get the opportunity, you have to be ready. You can't be sleeping on any single round, not even for a half a second, because Gambit will punish you.
Yeah, so pretty much what you're telling me is that if Copenhagen Flames makes a mistake, there's a little bit of a chance for a snowball effect.
Easily, like yesterday, they managed to scrape through in 2-on-4 situations and the likes. We're not going to see any of that today, unfortunately, for them.
All right. So I think it's a good time to go to the predictions. Who Guess
sea of red.
what?
5 stars.
And, yeah.
For a 5-star team.
Yeah, it's that would be great on, all kinds of platforms, be it a taxi application or whatever. Great to have 5 stars. But in this case, that's the only option you could really take in any reasonable way.
Yeah, no madmen in the predictions now, and this is where I kind of hoped I could maybe try to throw a curveball, but hey, it's Gambit. You just can't predict against them.
Yeah, and as we rated the match a 5-star match, I'm going to throw it to our casters. Guys, have a good one with this one.
Well, I can't disagree with too much being said on the desk there. A 5-star match for a 5-star team, and a match that probably should go the way of Gambit pretty easily, Dweg. I have some hope. Again, I have that 5% that makes me think that maybe Copenhagen Flames might pull off some magic. But ultimately, when it comes to logical thinking, Gambit should probably have this in 2-0.
Hey, they've done it before, right? We look back at that Snow Sweet Snow event in the second cup, right back in, what was it, March this year, so it's a few months ago. Nikoidos is still a part of the team. Yabi was too. They got the upset. That's probably the only time this year Gambit's been upset, right? Other than that, they've been winning a lot of events. They've been getting grand final placements. And pretty much the only games they lose is against Tier 1 opposition. So here for Copenhagen Flames, even though you want to have a bit of hope and you want to try and ride the underdog, this is just a match. You just can't think that at all.
No, I mean, again, if this was like an upset it happened in the last 2 months or so, then I'm like, okay, well, maybe Copenhagen Flames could do it again. They've proven that they could do it before. It was all the way back in March, and Gambit have come such a long way. Even back then, they were still sort of like in a bit of a weird position where, yes, they had won tournaments like IEM Katowice and such, but they were still not like definitive. I don't think a lot of people looked at them as a true Tier 1 team, at least not in an official capacity. So seeing them sort of come out in that sort of tournament, you could sympathize in retrospect. In this one, there'll be no excuse, I think, for Gambit to lose to Copenhagen Flames. Copenhagen Flames have been great. I'd argue they're a better team compared to that old side that beat out Gambit. But Gambit have just done so much great work against the Tier 1 opposition. They haven't taken on Tier 2 teams, which could leave an element of complacency involved. But for a second-place team in the world, you don't get that far without defeating some staunch opposition and absolutely trouncing on Tier 2 Spice.
Yeah, and I even look at this map of Ancient, and while it's great for Copenhagen Flames, 16 wins, 4 losses in the last 3 months, what's the best team out of all 20 of those teams in Tropic, right? A team that is not even up to the caliber of Gambit. They have not faced a single Tier 1 team in those 20 maps. So even though their win rate's fantastic, they've got a lot of victories on the board, it's not to this caliber. And we said that in the Harvu game, and look at what happened there. Gambit got 10 rounds on the T side on the first map, 12 rounds on the T side on the first map. Their T sides have been impeccable.
Absolutely. I think there's only one little real option that Copenhagen Flames can utilize to get back into this series, so to get something in this series. It would be on our first map of Ancient, but even then, I'm still rating Gambit to probably take it overall. So the best we can do is just find out how far this one goes as the pistol round for our second semi-final set to go live.
Definitely Roy is going to have to be the standout player. 8th highest rated in the entire event, average 1.23 rating. And knowing he's a veteran, knowing the team they're up against, that's going to be a guy that we have to look at for Copenhagen Flames. For Gambit, I'm looking at these Julies, Jay.
Yeah, finally taking the Berettas out. Playing those in towards this K position with a crossfire of Shiro on the CT start for the Gambit side. You expect them to be able to get a decent start in the first half for them. Set and ready with the crossfire held. Copenhagen Flames will look to grab that bomb and try to push it into the mid control, but will they commit through mid towards A? Will they try and backstab towards B? Will they get towards lane and go for the set piece? Passive control. First contact from Hobbit will actually lose his first blood.
Oh, they do see the bomb, so that's information gathering coming on. Nafani going to peek out with the Julies. Does get traded pretty quickly for Ziphon, and even deals with Shiro, the young man doing work in the early stages.
All right, good picks in for Copenhagen Flames. A 2 versus 4 against the Gambit favour. Copenhagen Flames backing out to the back lines here. Got the Inters being the only man on the B defensive. Got Smoke and Flash, no Kevlar. Just have to wait here for the T side to make contact, and Copenhagen Flames are still slowing this down.
And they've got a lurk for Yabi out to this A main position, so if he starts walking out, he's going to get the idea that this A bomb site's completely clear. The one section of that information that won't quite come through is just where that donut player is of Axile.
Might be one player that could get caught off guard or could do some catching off guard. Snuff their way into the back of the site, though. He's got to engage directly onto Yabi. Hearing the footsteps out of main, swing upon. USP does land that frag somehow. Turn back on Xiphon, and just like that, Axel's put it back to a 2 versus 2. If you can deny Hooksy right here, ran to within from the Inters, try to look for his bomb plant position. He can't quite catch it, and no. Nico Odos holds that kill. The bomb will just get planted by Hooksy. Axel's found his 2 frags though. He's got 2 more to get. Can't land that headshot. Flash keeps him blind, and Hooksy will just hold the round, the pistol for Copenhagen Flames.
That whole round was a recovery, really, for Gambit. We saw Xiphon getting a couple of kills in that lane position, Hooksy starting off, and Axel doing as much work as he can in that donut position, trying to slow the timer. Hooksy's able to get the bomb down before that wrap comes into Inters from CT Spawn, and while there's a lot of time wasting going on and there's a fair bit of success with some of the duels, it just doesn't quite come up. Hooksy getting away with a couple of kills, Gambit not getting the start off. Copenhagen Flames from the pistol.
Nicely placed again. Decent kills to open things up, and of course to wrapping against the likes of Axel and deal with him. He was the big thorn in their side. You mentioned his lurk out towards Donut, but it ultimately came down to just frag potential as opposed to positional advantage. SMG's in on a rebuy back for the CT side, as you would expect. The force investment is in. Copenhagen Flames have their AKs and Mac 10s out for round 2. And again, careful passive placement from most T-side players.
And Nico Odos just waiting for a jump spot, just a mistake to come out from this lane position. Up to ramp into the site. Nade damage coming through onto Nico Odos itself. Crossfire being set very similar to how it was in the pistol round for Gambit and Cheetah.
Moving up for Hooksy into the Candles position. The SMGs of Shura and Nafani here in Cave and Cheetah, still expecting T-side players to make their way in. Roy out with a Mac 10 trying to get out of position. Join the main hit site for Copenhagen Flames. The bomb's still out towards the doorway. And again, they're so slow and so passive with this.
Yeah, it all comes down to this Candles play. Yabby even just jiggle peeking. Re-smoke going down to ramp with less than 40 seconds left. That's going to start scrambling. The T's are going to push through that smoke, deal with the first player.
Finally's back with the MP9. Here was Cave, smoked off position. SMG Vashira still ready for Yabby, but doesn't win the fight against the Mac 10. Navani should be known here. There's not. Against the kill win against the first man, not quite the second. Zip on there with the trade. AK gets involved, the bomb will go down.
Gambit just going to hold on to the last couple of weapons. There could be a hunt that comes in from Hooksy. Decent mid-wrap for him just to be able to get the information to send that bomb over to the B site. The entries come through well. Only Yabby's the one to fall. And something to think about, too, for Copenhagen Flames is even at the RMR, because the majority of games that they played was best of ones, you're not going to get Ancient out, are you? If any of those teams are doing homework against you, they know that you love Ancient. So the only opportunity they had of trying to get Ancient out was in those best of threes, and it only actually came in that one series against Movistar Riders, where they got 4 rounds on their T side in the first half, 4 rounds on their CT side, and pretty much got mopped on their map pick. Gambit been slow to start. Copenhagen Flames looking comfortable in the early stages.
Yeah, 2-0 to begin things. I'm going to keep on down that particular path. Gambit don't really have much buy potential here for round 3. The 2 save weapons are going to be important for firepower reasons, and of course the head Kevlar is also an extra bonus. But yeah, this should be easy pickings for Copenhagen Flames from here in this one. Gambit looking towards those early rifle rounds. And it's a good start for the Danes, you know. They want to hold their map pick in high regard. They want to hold an early start to get that map pick in high regard. Take away a CT basis for Gambit could be everything. Mac 10's to rush straight forward, try to get the money out here in this particular round. Roy takes his own teammate out, though, so 4 versus 4. UMP of Axel can strike onto him and punish him even further. So advantage for Gambit, and the T's might back off.
This is looking promising for Gambit on the Eco. They've been able to get themselves a man advantage. Hobbit's now making an aggressive move. Might even be able to catch off one of the window players.
No, he won't. Back turn towards Hooksy, and Hooksy trades it back to a 3 versus 3. Gambit must be aware now that there is a lot of lane and window presence. Mac 10 in for Nafani, gets killed off by Hooksy, doubles up, can't quite make it a triple. Shiro comes in with his frag, and now the bomb can't commit. It's going to go towards the B site rather than rotating here. Nades in, Shiro will take some damage, can't go ahead of the Molotov. Both players have AK, so firepower works well in the favor of the T side line, and Shiro's about to learn that. Decent damage done, though, by the Gambit side. 3 players down, no investment taken, so sets them up nicely here for the rifles.
And now keen to see what Shiro can do. Again, highest rated player in the RMR, put on a positive 105 KD differential in the 11 maps that he played. And even against Havu, we saw just how consistent he could be, scrambling the opposition in every moment of call, being able to be incredibly on point with some of the flicks. And this is something that we have to expect from Gambit, is Shiro to perform.
The smoke set to Hobbit's position. He's going to be first contact. Dagged up initially. Flash forward, and he gets Hooksy nice and efficiently. Doubles up as well onto Xiphon. Well played.
Very cheeky. Not expecting that at all. No one playing anti-flash, and that's a play that just catches the T's off guard. Sure is waiting for a walk-up at this ramp position. AWP does get baited by Nico Odos.
Yeah, good shoulder peek. And finally seen Yabi. Yabi can't get a frag. Gets close towards it. Eventually isolates that headshot, wins out that one individual. Meanwhile, I'll push up for Axel. We'll try to take Hobbit's position back, and Yabi's going to read it and all. Axel will not be able to find a pick in. He's going to just wait back here, knowing that there's only really one thing that they can do and rotate through mid with such heavy lane presence. I'm starting to run short. Axel going to adjust against the likes of Roy. His back's turned, though. He's going to wait. He's just going to wait. Look for anything more. Just take the execution frag as soon as he sees that bomb carrier. If he sees him at all. He's a bit late. Gets the kill. Not ready for Nico Odos, though.
Yabi snuck his way into CT spawn. Now they knew that he was somewhere around here, and it's being pre-aimed from Inters. Yabi gets another pick. That's 3 for him in this round, and Shiro's left a clutch.
I know they did that damage towards him. Shiro doesn't even need an AWP per se to win this particular fight, but takes his shot, misses. Smoke, of course, getting involved for Nico Odos and nade to drive Shiro away. And in the end, he just falls back to save with no kit and no utility. It leaves it very unlikely that he'll go in for any sort of retake setup. Copenhagen Flames win out the first gun round as well. 4-0 to the start here for the Danes.
And it's one of those rare chances where the trigger discipline actually works out not fantastically. Like, it works the other way. Because you'd have to imagine for Axel, if he just gets that kill in straight away, then the bomb maybe starts getting frantic. He can adjust over to that left-hand side. There was just so much spacing between the two players that he's waiting for more. And it doesn't happen eventually. And those couple of picks to come in from Hobbit was the start to the round. Yabi having a good sequence himself, and Axel just getting that one instantly traded. Copenhagen Flames relying on Yabi to make this round possible.
Tactical timeout taken by Gambit here into round 5's freeze time. Appropriate to do so here. They have not gotten off on the confident start. They have struggled throughout the course of these first 4 rounds. For a CT basis, they need to turn that around pretty quickly here. We'll go in for the rebuy, of course, with the safe weapon out. 3 M4s, 1 AWP. Hobbit probably going to have to be taking the mantle of the FAMAS, and indeed he will. So guns will be back in for Gambit, but they need to get rounds.
Yeah, it's very true. And for them, they'll know themselves, we need to step it up. They've been slow to start, haven't quite been able to find a lot of opening man advantages. Hooksy's calling this game decently on this T side. It's all about trying to see if they can just put as much pressure on the T side as possible, because for Copenhagen Flames, their CT basis is really where we get excited from them.
Yeah, Gambit needs to take as many of these rounds away as possible in this first half, and they struggle to get that first kill in on Yabi. Hobbit can get the trade at least. That one's in at lane either. Inter's going to clear that position. So Hobbit can grab an AK if he so desires. Hooksy takes a lot of damage as well to the Molotovs. So overall, a respectable start here for Gambit. 4-on-4 with HP advantage.
Yeah, their flash assists have been on point to this mid position. Inter's just trying to hope for a spam, get as much damage in as possible. Oh, we've got an info play. Hobbit's lurking. This is going to be able to get them into the backside. He can go all the way to the B stairs. They're not going to expect this.
Problem's going to be the firepower, though, for Mars in his hand. Did not opt to go up to the AK, but he could still find tons of information, at least, if not a couple of kills with their backs all being turned. Here at the V doors, Nico Odos is exposed. Seen. Hobbit. It's going to keep creeping. Will he see that bomb carrier just taking Nico Odos down? Get that frag. Xiphon's still lining up utility. They had no idea. And now the whole round falls apart for Copenhagen Flames. They're finally with the latest kill. Looking with a double on Roy, and he'll get it as well. Hobbit with a triple. What a great lurk.
And these are some of the expectations we have from Gambit, is they're going to be able to make info plays. They're going to be able to outread you. And in that one right there, Hobbit is able to extend with the trade frag, go all the way down into elbow, get in from behind them. They've gamble stacked. They've rotated everyone at B. And Copenhagen Flames, not even to have the awareness of one person just looking in the backstab in case that's a possibility. They had no idea.
Didn't believe Gambit would go that far, but they did. Tactical timeout comes in for the Flames. Their first one called in this matchup. Appropriate so, because they can't keep making mistakes like that. You know, smaller mistakes are going to be punished by Gambit, so bigger ones like that one need to be counted out immediately.
Yeah, for Gambit, Just knowing they're on a very solid winning streak, 7 games in a row. Forza and Unique, Indy Ray, VP, a lot of these games did come through in the RMR. Entropic in the playoffs, Na'Vi 2, and then Havu yesterday. Now you have got some staunch competition in the list of them. Gambit being able to find their first round. Copenhagen Flames, got to wonder how they're going to respond. More presence over to the A side. Haven't seen much over here so far.
Theme of the day, really. Not a lot of presence in the last nation we saw earlier in the semi-finals. Now towards the B side mostly, including Shiro's aggression, finding Roy, but taking that only player out of position. Hobbit has seen the AWPer flashbang off, a smoke down to suppress. Incendiaries all coming from the T side line. They'll still push forward to the marker. No flashbang over. Yabby still wins that one good fight. Axile in here towards Donut entrance. I set AWP in as Shiro going to try readjust it, but Copenhagen Flames actually start the retreat. They're going to back and rotate.
That's actually a decent call to just back off. They haven't used a crazy amount of util that they're going to go into a B-side XE late into the round with nothing to work with and be dry. They've actually got some backing. Hobbit getting forced out from the big box position. You can see he's just trying to create an off angle, try and see if he can bait and switch with Axile. And Copenhagen Flames, at least Yabby's the one again to make an impactful kill.
Uxie. They're moving with the Deagle. Shiro going to try and make his way into the mid control. He's got no direct vision onto the T side just yet. He's then pretty far out. Ziphon might give him what he wants, though. Both these players here on the boost. Down to the ground floor will start making their moves in. Shiro's going to try bait them in very, very deep before he gets that kill. And Ziphon falls immediately. Great reaction.
Huxley's able to get a trade, so there's still a way that they can start moving into this A side. They don't know about the other player in Donut.
Another 2 players coming out of main. P250 against him. Shiro somehow lands a tag on towards Yabby. Looks in for the AWP frag. Axel gets a kill on the interim. Shiro can't make it a quadra just yet. Eventually he gets his opportunity, and he will do so just like that. It's 4 rounds to 2. Gambit bring up a second.
Copenhagen Flames needed a bomb plant in that one because now their economy's just getting wrecked after that. Shiro opening the round off with an aggressive opening kill, getting into that lane position. Yabby gets a trade back onto A, and Shiro just not really being phased, was he at all, up on that A side. A lot of success coming in. Axel backing him up, and Copenhagen Flames running that timer too low, struggling with the entries. Gambit make it a second.
Again, very nicely done from Shiro, who apparently played that round with no sound. His headset died, so we're in a tech pause to go ahead and quickly fix that up, which I don't know if that's even more impressive or what. But either way, it's going to be a second round for Gambit, and they can be happy with that. It's a much more solid position in comparison to where they were at the 4-0. And the money's not great for Copenhagen Flames. There's opportunities that Gambit can now make up some of that ground that they lost early. The Glock should be out for the T sideline, and I don't really see another investment coming in from the Flames.
I've got a little fun fact about headphones, Jay. There was an Australian player, Imagine, that played on Immunity at ESL 1 Katowice at the major, has his headphones on the wrong way around. So the left sound is in his right ear, and the right sound is in his left. So where's the headset backwards?
That's weird.
It is weird. What else is weird?
Since we're on the topic of sound, and obviously, you know, for those of you who might not be aware, I studied audio engineering. Did you know that in the worst case scenario, you can actually use your headphones as a microphone?
How does that work?
Literally, basically, a microphone is basically the exact same build as a headphone, just in reverse.
Right.
So
really,
if you plug it. So if you can try this as well, by the way. If you plug your headphones into the microphone jack and just try speaking into the headphones, it will work. It will sound like crap,
goodness.
but it will work.
Mind blown.
Not a lot of people know that, actually. I'm kind of surprised.
That's why my mind was blown, mate. No idea. I know about the success of this round, though. I see a P250, so I don't see much.
Yep, should be Gambit easy pickings. Huxi catches Hobbit off guard. He jumps out of the way. Unfortunately, he maintains that. And it was about to put paid to the idea that we just should write Copenhagen Flames off in this round. Fortunately, Gambit recover, and the AWP out for Shiro takes a dink as well. They're landing some pretty respectable shots here, Copenhagen Flames. No kills until Ziphon finally finds one in mid, but he's won that good trade, and Hobbit able to respond towards that all the same. Shiro still working in towards the B site, and he'll get his second frag. Gambit with that third. Copenhagen Flames now to the bye.
That looked as if for a moment they were actually going to be able to get a couple of picks. Axel falling, Hobbit down low. Doesn't quite happen, so they're able to keep a couple of those AKs in play for Hobbit and Inters. And so far, we haven't yet to see the supportive player of Inters put a kill up. It's been everybody else being able to get the heavy lifting. Roy, too. It's kind of surprising to see him down 0-1-6 because we've been singing his praises over the course of this playoffs of being such a great player on T side from them. A lot of entry kills, getting into the mix and putting up numbers. Slow to start here.
Shiro's AWP has been a very effective element for Gambit thus far here in this map. Even though it was a little bit slow in the early couple of rounds, it's still going to come up good with 7 kills. Nafani comes up with his frag onto Nico Odos. Starts things off on the right foot by picking up that OD start. Nafani's down at 5 HP though, so he's got to get the AWP back in his hands.
Yeah, Hobbit hasn't been able to see a massive amount in mid or hear anything. Hooksy making another walk forward into this Candles position. Hobbit's got a great advantage in this peak. Hooksy doesn't quite check it, so 5-on-3. Copenhagen Flames falling apart in round 8.
Sprays through, trying to catch blind kills through smoke. Zephon will get one, and Roy catches the Nafani, doubles up on the Shiro, and just like that, the round gets built back up by Copenhagen Flames. Inter's looking for Zephon, still yet to get his first kill in the round. Just waiting for someone to extend here, waiting for that player to make his way back in from lane. But Flames have locked out Gambit here, there's no way in.
Yeah, Inter's just waiting for that wrap to come in from Zephon. It all just comes down to a matter of timing. And Zephon's not moving at all. Inter's is just hoping that that opportunity is going to present itself. This is going to have to be a save to come in for Gambit. And, geez, you had a look at Nafani being on low HP. He gets the AWP over from Shiro. And the B players just really struggle in that 5-on-3.
Yeah, that was not great for Gambit, and they'll make it even worse. More players going against their name. They do lose all 5 for Copenhagen Flames. So Gambit make it an expensive round. They recover that AWP. The lead can extend for the T-side line.
Yeah, that was a very good recovery. We saw Nafani going aggressive with the AWP out of ramp. We saw Hobbit in Candles getting the 5-on-3. And then Roy just gets a double entry onto the B site. Zephon's able to get a trade. Yeah, great transfer. Much better there from Roy. And having a high-impact round that finds them their 5th.
Again, to extend the lead against Gambit. Of course, the rebuy will be in for both sides. And despite Copenhagen Flames winning out their 5th round, we've got Galils and a Deagle. Shiro, so with his AWP out towards Donut, trying to press in towards that mid control. Copenhagen Flames recognizing they're on a back foot, so they're going to go back into this standard passive default that we've seen from them time and time again so far in this map.
Yeah, seeing some slight reposition. So Hobbit was playing a lot of Candles. He's now coming into Cheetah with a teammate. So some variation with the setup for Gambit, looking to see if they can get away back in. And it is unfortunate to think that Copenhagen Flames won such a great round in the last and just, they don't get reset. Obviously, they get knocked back with the buy that they can actually bring forward. It's not pretty.
$55 seconds to the clock. Copenhagen Flames starting to walk their way into the setup here towards the B site with one lurk out from Zephon out towards mid. Still sees nothing though. He might challenge from Candles and that would leave Inters in a bit of a bad spot.
Yeah, you'd have to imagine every so often Inters is going to be checking that. Copenhagen Flames going for the ramp. Take a lot of players here for Gambit to defend.
Hobbit's out in the open. He's going to be first pickings. Gets back out towards Wood. The Molotovs fade away. Hooksy tagged up. There's the kill in easy for Hobbit. 20 seconds, and they've been stalled right here, trying to look for those wall bangs somewhere through the wood. Yabi takes face. Roy could also end up lined up. The boost up's here for Nafani. Gets both those kills, drops that bomb. Zephon and Nico Odos, 2-prone attack in from the back and front lines. Axel's already watching here. That Molotov will be seen. The man goes down. Nico Odos is Deagle to dream on in this matchup. It's the 4th to the border Gambit.
And just some of the hesitation there for Copenhagen Flames. They molly Wood, they force Hobbit out, and then they go after the molly is already done. So Hobbit can just move back into the position. Yes, they at least pre-aim it. It sets up the crossfire, though. And those are the slight adjustments that Copenhagen Flames needed to make earlier in the round, is committing with the full util rather than just waiting and having a lack of information.
Eco basis. Now for the Flames, the force invests. The damage being done by Gambit, coming back to bite them on the Danish side. Again, no investment, the clock's out. Get a bomb plant, that's their focus in this round. Even then, they're still left it pretty open, so they're trying to find their option, find their angle into the site. Faced in from Hobbit as he looked for the T side, but can't see anyone as of right now.
And he's just waiting for that cross, isn't he, for the T's to get up to that window position. Spots out the first player. Does take some damage to the Glock. Deke coming in long range, looking in for more, and it's easy pickings. May have just spotted that bomb, a shoulder.
Inline engagement from Shiro finds Roy. Axal continues firing away towards that main entrance. It's Inters and Hobbit that clean out those last couple of frags. Hobbit makes it a triple. And good shooting from Copenhagen Flames. I mean, they didn't get a pick in this round, but if you heard it there, Hobbit took a dink. So the accuracy from these weapons are pretty good, actually. The issue is, of course, it's just not enough to get the kills themselves on those Glocks out. Gambit can equalize to 5-5, and the guns can go back in for Copenhagen Flames. Let's see if they can put that accuracy to effect here with 5 AKs instead of 5 pistols.
Yeah, it's going to have to come back to them charging forward, getting some opening man advantages. Ziffon's been very successful in mid for the last handful of rounds. Copenhagen Flames, got to wonder what the setup's going to be, knowing that there is no AWP for Nikodos to work with. Roy getting spammed real heavy.
And Inters might have heard that as well. I think he would have caught information on the tags, and finally just continued spraying forward, eventually catching that pick. As Gambit, call it luck or good reading, it's going to be a kill regardless. Inters ready for even more. Gapping that smoke, sprays through against Yabby. Now knows of 2 individuals. Doesn't quite find any further picks though. It's just that early one done to the Copenhagen Flame side. And the damage returned by those cheater players, not even that much against Inters.
Yeah, beautiful patience for Inters. He could have overextended, looked for a further fight in lane, do some damage and get out of there. Just put that flash down, can even re-smoke. Does get caught by a timing of Yabby, but the smoke goes down. A minute left on the clock, and Copenhagen Flames, it does look as if they are edging B. They've still got an elbow player.
Flashes over, Shiro trying to look in. Nafani's going to make his move up with the M4. Yabby, seeing Nafani, he's going to wait. He could sneak into the bomb site right here. The CTs, but I think they're completely cleared up at this position. Hearing scopes. Hobbit, not checked. Nafani goes down as well. And that patience is a virtue for the T side. Shiro suppressed with the AWP outside of the site. The bomb will try and go down here. He does hear Hooksy. It's a bit of an open plant position. Can't find him at the edge of the smoke. Just got to leave it to go down. Try to set up the retake here. But Axel's not even going to rotate towards him. So Shiro's got to do this on his own.
Just look for exit kills, honestly, for Shiro. Try and see if anything's made of this. This round's not looking likely at all. Ziffon's even got a backstab into CT spawn, so the rotation path is going to be difficult for Shiro. Does at least catch him off.
An escape dodge as well. Yabby heard that scope. He knows that he's out there. Wallbang's attempted by Hooksy. He's going to evade it. But knowing there's not much left in this round, it's bracket in from Axal, who will try and look for the exit frags. The rotation's away. He's missed Hooksy. Might catch Nikodos. Nicely done. Got a good shot, 2 versus 2. And Yabby will also fall towards Shiro. So again, an expensive round for Copenhagen Flames. They do hold the lead, but it's a lead that's come with severe effort and severe sacrifice.
Well, one element of Copenhagen Flames' T side that's really impressed me so far today, Jay, is the confidence, and they don't look nervous at all. Like that round there for Yabby, you're facing the second best team in the world and you're trying to make a trigger discipline play. Surely in the back of your mind you're thinking, oh, this might be red. I might swing out here at Cave and I'm going to lose the fight. No, they're playing the Counter-Strike they know best, and they're not adjusting too much to what Gambit want them to do.
Smoke's on, Molotov's out. Hobbit with the M4. It's Roy that finds Inters to kick things off. The opening frag sprays through from Nafani, looking to try catching the wall bang onto Hooksy. This time he's going to return the favor by dishing out a bit more damage of his own. Shiro's AWP will find a kill on Roy instead, and they'll escape that dodge. The Molotov in towards Cave is going to force him back.
Now, we could see another info play coming through as an aggressive elbow stance of Axal. Oh, Ziffon's actually waiting for it. That could be punished. Oh, timing.
All down to positioning. Axal's going to see Ziffon though. Get that kill in for the CT man advantage once again. Slight gap in the smoke. The Hobbit's going to try and abuse. Blind fire to try to stop that bomb plant from coming in. It won't be successful though. It's retake on for Gambit. Advantage for them. Axal's got to get this backstab set up to try and make good use of it. The 3 players coming in from the back lanes. They're going to be a bit more tentative about their peaks. Hooksy starting to move in against Axal. Smoke clears, he spots him. Quick flick to the head, back to a 3 versus 3 will go. And still Nikorodis is rocking the deagle. It's not the best weapon for this. Smoke on towards that ramp position. Yabby's going to try and get isolated. Big gap in that smoke. They're going to fight on towards Nikorodis. And Yabby still sat back over at the box. Shiro kill. Yabby with 1. Not quite that second. Nikorodis plays back to a 1 versus 1. AWP VM4. Diffuse kit on the man. Finds his angle, but Nikorodis with the flick keeps control of the round for the Flames.
Copenhagen Flames, this is what the third or fourth time we've had one or no player staying alive. Another clutch has to come forward. And sometimes when you're the underdog team, if you have to clutch almost every round or the rounds are close, as long as you're getting the rounds up there, you're going to be happy. You're putting more on. You're trying to get that pressure on. We see that post plant looking decently on the retake to come in from Gambit. And Nikoedos just wasting time, getting that 1v2 together and pushing the Danes up to 7.
And 2 rounds the difference. Gambit still on the back foot. Forced to invest in for this round 13. And Copenhagen Flames, they're also pretty low of their own accord. It's going to be Gambit's chance to reset them entirely and get even more out for this CT half. But either way, we're guaranteed at least an 8-7 to the favor of Gambit. Or at most an 8-7 to the favor of Gambit. Copenhagen Flames, they've done quite a lot of work here on T-side.
Well, I've just had a look. 6 out of the 7 rounds that they have won, Jay, they haven't ever had more than 2 players staying alive. So that kind of shows you, even though they're in a lead by 2, these rounds are close and very competitive. And all it's going to take is that difference maker, the economy game. Gambit might be faced a bit more over towards this A site this time around. When you have a look at the B lane default, you've got 1 player out of the doors position. That's it.
45 seconds. Copenhagen Flames again happy to play passive and careful. 1 lurker in Hooksy. That's going to be pretty much it here. If Hobbit can deal with him, then they'll be able to rotate all their forces back into the B side. But he's making enough noise to draw rotations away. Shiro joins there. Defensive of the Molotov start coming in here for the Copenhagen Flames. The real execution is here to the B site. Hooksy does get dealt with, so that's the first frag for Gambit's favor. Smoke down that. Actually, a flashbang. That doesn't quite catch Inders. They can reface it, including Shiro's AWP. They finally get Ziff on next. Now we can get that trade back in the center of the site. So 4 versus 3. Bomb can get planted here.
I'm going to try and see if they can get some of those smoke bang shots in, see if they can deny the bomb. Doesn't actually happen. Man advantage in for the CTs. They're all coming in for the back line.
Flashbang turned away from T-side player's face. Nikoedos brings it back to a 3 versus 3. Blind fire from Hobbit will be so far so unsuccessful. He's keeping them away from this left lane. Starts peeking in instead, finding Axile. Man advantage tips towards their favor and continues to extend on the trades. Roy catching Shiro, and Shiro caught Yabi. It's all on Hobbit, and Nikoedos has him on lock. Copenhagen Flames really outplaying here, Gambit. I mean, they're not out-fragging them, but they're outplaying them most certainly.
No, I disagree. I think that they're playing well. I don't think they're out aiming them or out reading them, whatever it may be. I think Gambit are getting very good reads on the situation. We saw in that post plant the way that they play as a unit, which I really enjoyed. They don't offer up individual duels. Yeah, Nikoedos frags out to get it back to a 3v3. And then from there, every single duel after that, players are peaking together, and that's important.
Yabi kill, double up. Force buy for Gambit here for round 14. Indicate they're going to force up for round 15 as well. It's already 2 casualties taken. The likelihood of winning the round is already pretty low for Gambit. SMG in for the Fani. Finds Hooksy at least. That's something gained for the CTs.
Yeah, it's a pick back. It may be too late, though. You've already got Yabi with a couple of entries from elbow. Now they've got a lot of time to work with. Roy can just sell them on the B fake, just walk up, try and sell as much of a distraction as possible because that bomb is currently in A main. They swing together. It's okay. It's an AK that can get picked up now.
The smoke's set, and finally going to make his way up here with the SMG. Backed up to Candles, Molotov forcing him forward. He takes that fight against Ziffon, but Ziffon wins it. The bomb will get planted for it. Gambit have an AK on Inters. Do they want to go ahead and save it? I mean, it's going to be a bit more extra to go in with the next buy-up, but you also force the issue in this round. Not a lot of cash to rebuy with a full set of guns. Inters leans in, sees where Yabi is at. Can't catch him. We'll have to wrap it in and zip on instead. To let you forward. No, doesn't check the entire corner, leaving Shiro alone in the 1 versus 3. UMP back behind the boxes. Trying to isolate these picks. He does find Ziffon at least. Smoke off against the AWP's position. Yabi next up the face, and actually Shiro grabs that kill. Looks in with the 3rd man. He's dead out of time though. Needs to get the full 10-second defuse. He hasn't got time for this. He's got to back off and save the AK now. Nikoedos will at least get baited out. And the kill won't get found. Both players will escape. It's Copenhagen Flames that get the better of it. 9 up. Another round to the board.
And not what they were hoping for there at all for Gambit. Try and see if they can get that 2v3 retake on. Yabby being able to show up in a huge way for Copenhagen Flames. He's putting a lot of opening kill numbers up for the team. He's finding some very tricky positions to outclass and be able to put them in advantage situations is what's really important. And for Copenhagen Flames, up to 9, potentially 10. I mean, really, when you look at the scoreline, you'd be very happy with the rounds they put up.
This half in general has just gone really swimmingly here for Copenhagen Flames. Unexpectedly so. Again, you look towards that CT half as being the main one for the Flames side. So seeing them have this much impact, having this much success, positive things to come here for the rest of Ancient. One more execution set in towards the B-bomb site. They barely even hit A. Needs to try to respond, dishing out some damage for Marcy. But Nafani comes up with 2 kills, but Yabby deals with both him and Intis. Shiro set with the AK, burst fire, gets 2 more frags. Drops that bomb, and Nico Odos now alone in the back lines, coming out towards ramp to try finding the entry. Orp in hand in a 1 versus 3. It seems like Gambit should find their sick. Incendiary is up, shot missed, and Shiro will close it out with a triple. And indeed, yes, 3 rounds to separate, but Copenhagen Flames lead up 9-6.
Yeah, I saw more rifling out from Shiro with success than we did actually from Axel, which is something you don't see every day. Gambit will look at that and be slightly miffed that they didn't get more. They kept it at, 5-5 at one portion there, and then kind of delayed, just got out of control. Copenhagen Flames get up to 9, and that actually ties it up with the most one-sided first half they've had in the entire playoffs with their game against Finest that actually was on Ancient.
Our half-time hero is going to be Yabby here for the Copenhagen Flames. He has been a very, very good player for them. 18 kills at the top frag position. Making a lot of work here for the Flames side and forcing a tactical timeout for Gambit before we get into the pistol round. I guess they recognize here that they kind of need to get something out of this one. They need to kind of get the pistol itself. So otherwise they could be on a severe back foot that they might not be able to recover from.
You got to remember, right, even though Ancient is CT-based, Gambit's T-sides against Harvu were impeccable. They were dictating a lot of pace. They were being able to get some good spacing. The utility usage is on point. Whether we can use that factor here onto Ancient is a conversation. It's just that Gambit know they've got some good T-sides behind them. And for Copenhagen Flames, they've put themselves in a good position. They can push themselves in a better position.
Question is, can those T-sides apply to this particular map of Ancient? Statistically, Gambit are far better on the CT half. Flashes over as Gambit try and set themselves up for the pistol execution in towards that mid-control, at least set up for the mid-play. A few more flashes to get into the site itself. They're baiting in a lot of pressure out towards Donuts. There could be a flank involved for Axel. Hobbit's going to draw their attention back. They'll go for the main hit.
Hobbit could just lurk, try and see if he can cut some rotates off, get into that Candle's position. He's not going to get spotted at all.
USP falling back. Hooksy leans in. USP in hand. Glock of Hobbit is seeing him out towards Candles, but he's running to Nico Odos at the same time. Trying to strike on the one player, a bit tunnel vision to that one. And now he's sandwiched as the T-side try and make their work happen here towards the A-side. Great flash in, Ziffon's blinded. Hooksy will find Hobbit, so it's 1-for-1 in the retake.
Axel needs to try and see if he can find a connection. Doesn't happen, and the in-game leader is able to get 3 kills in this round so far. Shura gets caught off, and It's the last one left.
Oh, this round just fell apart quick for Gambit. Awkward timing on peeking away. Into the Glock out, trying to clutch it against all 4. He can't do it. Nico Odo shuts him down, and Copenhagen Flames will find their 10th round. Again, it was all down to missed timing there for the Gambit side. Hobbit peeking out towards mid at the worst timing when Nico Odo was watching it. I can't remember who it was looking into Hooksy out towards that donut position, but turning away when he took the peek allowed 2 more kills to come in for him. That is going to suck for Gambit, most certainly.
Yeah, it's not exactly a round of mistakes. It's just a round where you just get timinged. And now we even look at the map 1 winner. And for Copenhagen Flames, they're favorites. It makes a lot of sense. They've been playing well in this map. We saw the way that even with the distraction being pulled from Hobbit to try and see if he can bait Nico Odos away from that A site, Hooksy as well, they're still not really able to find enough connections. And the in-game leader individually of Hooksy has actually been performing at a very high level.
We get even more picks in on this first frag. Hobbit caught off towards mid. And Yabby may have been able to get all the plaudits so far here for the Flames, but I think Hooksy wants a bit of a piece of his own pie. A tease. The back of that opening kill, want to rethink their strategies. The bomb's been left out towards Elba, probably get picked up by Shiro. Where do they commit from this?
You'd have to imagine back over to the A site, they can just leave a single lurk or at least some util placement of inters. If he wants to go out to that elbow position, just show some mid pressure. Yabby's going to be the sole defender of this A site. We'll have a rotator that can come in quite quickly if Hooksy was already striked in the rounds.
Yabby's seen him. Looks back for a bit more. Axel catches the damage. The Molotov's going to drive him out of Temple. Hooksy, similar story here towards the donut position. He doesn't quite go down just yet. Eventually, he's going to catch him with a burst fire. Really good shot to the head, so a 4 versus 4. But Yabby quick to respond, get the advantage back for the Copenhagen Flames. Can't extend it against Shiro. The ball will get planted.
That still looks decent here for Copenhagen Flames. 3v3, miss smoke out to Temple. Xiphon can actually work with the edge of that smoke and get a sightline into the side.
Nathana's gig up that goes towards him. He thinks he's safe. He thinks wrong about it. Galil in for Inter's going to get his second kill. Can't quite make it a triple. Now Shiro left with 29 points of HP and AK in hand. Headshot found. Tries to think of bait out Xiphon. Jump facing. Looking for the info. He's seen him now and he barely evades the shot of that from us. The Incendiary driving him away. Xiphon can stick the full 10 seconds at this stage. Switch out to the M4. Tap it once. Shiro's not going to peek it. He's too low HP. And Xiphon thinks that he will. He's let the timer run far too low. He'll get that frag, but he will not get the round.
Xiphon had to stick it there. I mean, come on. When you know that Shiro is low HP, you know you've got the Incendiary down, you have to back yourself. Because Shiro knows that he's taken damage. He can't run through that. He runs through the flames to try and see, oh, is someone sticking that bomb? He's going to die. So that is a position in which Xiphon has to stick the defuse, and it just doesn't happen. Doesn't draw out the fight. Copenhagen Flames, honestly, it looked as if, for a moment, that miss smoke from Gambit was going to be the difference maker, that it just caught them completely off guard. And still, Shiro does his own thing, 21 kills and 8 deaths. He's been on fire.
A tactical timeout taken by Copenhagen Flames. Once again, their second in this matchup. Three rounds to the difference here. Copenhagen Flames hold the lead as they have done throughout the course of this entire map up thus far. Couple of even standings for Gambit over the course of this one, but they've never truly had like a lead above the Flames, which is actually pretty respectable here for this team. Again, their map picks, you expect some level of success, and right now they are making it successful. Hooksy scored first here, Roy scored second. A bit of hesitation from Yabby almost cost him his life. He's catching onto Hobbit. Shiro will deal with him though, and the A site's now open. He's forced by a round with the pistols, overwhelmed by Gambit easily.
Just realised, Jay, as well, how high the round 2 conversion rate was for Copenhagen Flames. That's now their second loss out of 14 of those situations in this event where they've won pistol and lost the second round. It just hasn't happened, and that may actually be the Kickstarter of Gambit's campaign on T-side. We see the force buy that comes back in for Copenhagen Flames, of course. They're on double eco status. They get the first pick onto Hobbit. What else comes of that round? They get overwhelmed on A. The rotators can't find any damage. Gambit get up to 8.
Bring themselves within 2. The Copenhagen Flames lead. Of course, the force by turning into an eco should allow them to get to 9. Just one more in theoretical terms for them to make up here. Copenhagen Flames only finding that pistol round so far. That's been it in this half. Look towards those rifles in the next one. That's where things can get interesting.
We've seen 2 exits in the last 3 months for Copenhagen Flames in the semi-finals against Entropic in Multivibes Series 1 and against Lyngby Vikings in that Funspark event that the Danes of Lyngby ended up winning the entire event of. So they definitely know the kind of position they're in today. Gambit up to 8. Copenhagen Flames, I mean, realistically, what can they find out of this round? You've got something on Xiphon and Nico Edos, maybe a pick. They're actually trying like a mid stack, aren't they? Just hoping that they can catch some sort of lurk out in mid.
With the number of times Gambit's gone towards mid control as well, it makes a lot of sense. But unfortunately, in this round, they're not going to go for mid at all. They have to walk out towards window instead. Shiro is ready to account for that. Recognise that there probably could be a stack in play, and now they've seen them. 2 players, 3 players spotted out by Shiro. Gets the kill on the one-man tag of the second. 1 point of health, though. Needs to get his teammates back in that position. He's landed 2 kills. Nico Odos has found 1 as well. It's a 3-on-2 scenario. And the Deagle does all the work. Axile, 1-on-3 scenario. Copenhagen Flames. In a matter of moments, they take control.
Oh, they've just been hit with the 1-2 tier 2 eco, haven't they? My goodness, what a round that is for Copenhagen Flames. So many of those kills came through smokes. A double kill with the USP for Hooksy. And now Axile's got to clutch a 1v3.
Smoke set towards the right lane. Back turned. Molotov. Oh, missed Molly. Trying to force out players in at Woods. Hooksy faced upon Nico Odos. There on angle anyway. Swings ahead of the smoke. And Copenhagen Flames will steal one away from Gambit. They will not be happy with that. That was the USP collateral.
Honestly, that is silly. It's one of those rounds. It happens once. It might not ever happen again. Another kill through smoke. They got 3 kills through smokes.
Oh boy. Gambit just gifted a bunch of AKs over the Copenhagen Flames as well, by the way. Not even a rifle round needed for Copenhagen Flames to establish their second of the half. And they can establish so much more for it. Gambit taking a tactical, have to force the buy here.
And they realize that's just unacceptable. Whether it's kills through smokes or not, we shouldn't be losing to an eco. We've got to have better protocols. We've got to have better crossfires. Whatever it may be, they're going to be talking about that. And Copenhagen Flames, just the gift of having all those T-side weapons means that even for the economy, Xiphon, Hooksy, and Nico Odos don't really need to buy down in round 20.
Axile leaning in here with the AK. Flashbang in his pouch, can utilize it. Molotov out towards the back of the site here. Incendiaries, all sorts of flashes and smoke set up, but Yabi still lands that frag with the AWP here. The rifle will get picked up by the Eagle players. Xiphon gets 2 frags of his own accord. Doshiro barefoot and responsive, but it's a 3-for-1 trade. One lurker in Hobbit will try cut off the player over at window. He still ends up falling to Roy, and Shiro's got it all to do here. A full-on ace clutch for the man. And they know he must be creeping up close. They know he must be planning with something, and they're going to try to count for it all.
He's just hoping for a mistake. Hoping to isolate a couple of these 1v1 duels, which just, it tries to happen, doesn't come in. And you can expect when you're going for some of those A executions out of main, that you're going to probably lose the first fight to the AWPer. You need to get the trading game in. And for Xiphon, he's out at Donut. He gets 2 kills before dropping. That's just unacceptable. These entries need to be coming through. And for Copenhagen Flames, they give themselves a 5-on-2 within the initial, first 5 seconds of that contact that comes out.
4 rounds in the lead for Copenhagen Flames. Gambit, Eco, rush out towards A main. Yabi's going to be here with the AWP. Plenty to find. Leg shot landed first. Hooks is there with the AK to back him up. Yabi's going to get a couple of kills involved in this one, make it a triple. I'll be there with a couple of decent trades. No further than those 2 frags for the Gambit side, though. Flames up to 13. Gambit back on guns. They've got to get something here soon.
Hey, you'd have to imagine so. They're running out of chances on this T side. This is probably last chance saloon for me. 8-13 down. Not a lot of money to work with. Only 2,900 loss bonus, not at the max round just yet. Yabi has been a consistent performer for Copenhagen Flames, and you would normally expect maybe more of the veteran guys to be able to put on good performances against a team of the caliber of Gambit. Instead, it's a youngster that's putting on a good show.
Gambit playing careful around their default for this round 22. Roy thinking of a face, thinking of a wallbang. Ravita's position at least, that's going to be info to game for Gambit. They're so tentative about this round here. They know that they're in trouble.
That spam eventually comes in. It's just getting lined up, timinged on by Roy. They're finally looking for a trade back, and he actually makes it a couple of kills and punishes the over-aggression after the opening pick gets found in Cheetah.
All-important spray down for him. Yeah, I'll be watching the A site from back over towards the spawn. The utility in with the CT side. Try to suppress the T side in some sort of capacity, but they're all going out towards that B site.
Yeah, it's going to have to come down to Nico Odos, and he doesn't even have an AWP in this angle. has to try and play with the AK. There's a lot of util for Gambit to work with. Could be a quick rotation in from Yabby. It all just comes down to the timing. Yeah, Yabby is actually going to be able to try and back him up.
Leaning in, trying to get to an aggressive position, look into the site itself. Nafani catches a gap in a smoke. Nikorodos's there for the trade, though. Flashbang off the wall, will look back in towards Cheetah. Sees nothing, back to the site. He may have been spotted there by Axile. Closed in by 2 different angles. He's got to win one of these fights. He can't quite do it. Hooksy in a 1v3.
Even getting pushed on by Shiro, getting aggressive. That's his 25th kill. Copenhagen Flames, unfortunately there, you could just see that even with the AWP contact with Nico Odos, with Nafani pushed up on the other side of that smoke, almost creates a one-way from him. Great start into the round with Roy getting his first pick. It was this couple of kills, though. That was really the game changer.
Yeah, if he hadn't got that play, I think it's going to be a very different story here for Copenhagen Flames. And those trades are the things that Gambit have been struggling with the most here on T side. 9th up to their board. And again, trying to build back up the ground they've lost to the CT forces. 4 to go to equalize, 3 for Copenhagen Flames to take the map up. They've got another buy up with a double AWP setup this time. I think one of the first times we've seen the double AWPs here.
Money has been a crucial factor for Copenhagen Flames, why we haven't seen it a lot. We know the Copenhagen Flames don't mind it. Yabby has been playing a lot around that temple position on A with the AWP, now getting backed up by Nico Odos. Inta's taking a lot of early damage to the mollies. Oh, he might fall here.
And yes, he will. Nades in. Ziphod credited with the kill. May have heard those tags or may have just pot-locked it. Either way, it comes up with a frag for Copenhagen Flames. And Gambit, they just can't afford to lose these opening picks. If they did that in the last round, they got the trade pretty much instantaneously. And they do find one in the end for Hobbit. Yabby caught, smoke back towards Candles. Hooks there with another cross responsive for the CT favor. Removes all mid presence, and the AWP Nico Odos can strike as well. Shiro next up before he gets that frag. Axar 1v4.
Yeah, a situation which doesn't really look winnable at all. 2 players out to this cheater angle. AWP even posted. Wide swing from Axel. Takes a lot of damage. He's now down low on 9 points. This is going to be another simple round for Copenhagen Flames to get up to 14. All going to push ahead. And just the utility usage on point. You've got the double incendiaries that go down, followed up by double HGs. And Insis is having a shocker here in map 1. 4 kills and 17 deaths.
Far cry by comparison to his teammates, most certainly. There are some players over on the Copenhagen Flames side that are also pretty low, but it's nothing quite like those kind of numbers. Remember, 4 kills in 24 rounds. That's concerning. 14-9, Copenhagen Flames up against the force buy for Gambit. They win this round, they probably win map 1 here. And Gambit might not even get to double digits. That's the shocking part for me.
Roy, thinking about overextending, needs a flash out from a teammate. They peek together, and actually enters when he shows up. There it is.
As soon as we criticize him as well, Blake, the ultimate caster's curse.
Of course. That's it.
Tech 9 of Axile comes up with another good frag ahead of the smoke. And where was this Gambit all match long so far? Shiro gets Nico Odos. Yabby set with the AWP out towards mid. Does catch one player. Now they have the info. Just get that bomb plant down. Secure this round. Get 10 up on the Gambit board, but Copenhagen Flames known to respond to these Gambit rounds so effectively. Back and forth 4 rounds in a row now. Will there be another one for the CT side?
Yeah, it all comes down to this hunt, trying to keep this AWP out of play. Economy's low, and you'd have to imagine, even if there are more T-side players to fall, you've got the wraparound play in from Hobbit, you've got another one on the A side for Shiro, so holding on to this AWP is going to be very unlikely for Yabby. Hearing some of those footsteps, just a bait play, try and see if we can scope in the AWP, allow Hobbit to swing on. Very well achieved. Gambit up to 10. And not only did we completely curse it for Inters, we actually caused it for Copenhagen Flames not to get up to 15 and take the map. Now they're in a position where, with double eco, kind of need a buy here.
Yeah, I say so too. They will go for the rifles investment, whatever they can get out of this one. 2 M4s in for the CT side. An AWP somehow afforded Nico Odos. Big green gun in his hand. CZD will to bolster it all for Copenhagen Flames. So again, the buy is going to be better for Gambit, as you would expect. Flashes up and over, swing in. Sees absolutely nothing thus far. Is there a flashbang to support Nafani's peak? He's thinking about it. No one gives up the ghost.
And not facing in dry, just making sure they get the information on where the AWP is playing out early from. Even the HE doesn't do a lot of damage. Copenhagen Flames now having the intent of aggressing further into this cheater position. Nico Odos needs to get a mid pick.
A hunt for Hobbit, who's out there behind the boxes. Shot missed from the AWP. 48 HP from him as he gets tagged up by the AK. And Gambit are forcing the issue against these guns. Roy down low. Nico Odos now tagged to 10 HP to, I believe, a follow-up HE. Or some sort of engagement against him. We're in the back lines of the B site here. Hobbit finally gets that kill to open up out towards the donut position. A frag that pretty much cleans up all the A site defensive. They've got Hooksy so focused on mid that he's going to let them all cross and get plants on the bomb. Copenhagen Flames. Now, no, Hobbit sneaks forward, does lose his life, so that's at least one trade.
That was a decent at least bait attempt, right? And even now, CTs, what further success they're going to find? Inter's aggressing, Axel aggressing. They've even got a B player. They've got members everywhere. Ziphod and Hooksy, the best that they can ask for is trying to hold on to these weapons. I don't know if they could do that, though.
Hunt in from Axel, struggles to deal with the first player and will not stick around for the second man. Ziphon, spray's not quite good enough. And the final will get that kill. So 11 to the board of Gambit. Now within 3 of the Copenhagen Flames lead. Eco basis as well for the CT side. Now, I was about to say that probably should leave Gambit in with a round, but the last time I said that, Copenhagen Flames took USP's collaterals and somehow managed to pull off the round. So I'm going to reserve my my jinx for the time being and see where round 26 goes.
You can't imagine much, really.
Wait
maybe
for it.
something.
Wait for it.
Oh, they're going to aggress
for
that.
it.
They're going to hope, play anti-flash, Shiro, got teammates around him. There's one kill.
What did
oh
I
my
say?
goodness.
What did I say?
It's all right,
Wait for
mate.
it.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's 3 kills. It's okay. There's no panic here, Jay. It's all calm.
3 casualties, though. Gambit probably won't be happy with that round.
Yeah, you're probably right, because money's okay, could be better. So for Copenhagen Flames, they'll look at that one and say, right, we get up to 15, we're not going to completely reset them. And the difficult nature is, though, is even if they want to try and target the economy, the Danes only have a couple more rounds to go to win this map.
Any limit will be a good limit to Gambit, so Copenhagen Flames to at least knock Hobbit down to $350. That could be pivotal to them. Down towards the mid control. Hard stacking from the CTs. Look at how far forward they're going to get here. Hooksy engages against one man as Shiro, the AWP, forced to turn his head away. Looking in towards the site, the nades up. The T's getting ready for the B hit.
Now, Copenhagen Flames are making info plays in elbow. It's too late, though. The B exec is just coming in. Ziphon does at least strike with that first kill, so damage being done. Hobbit's running through the smoke.
USP catches some damage against him, not quite the kills back. Nefani and Shiro are also tagged up pretty low, so the bomb will go down. They have the B site at least, but look at the number of positions the CC is going to attack from. Hobbit does find Nico Odos. That's going to be a frag through the smoke. Shiro also finds Ziphon with the AWP, but backstab completes itself for Yavi, who immediately deals with the big green. 3-on-3. Hobbit and Nefani are low. Axel's set to the back lane. Ready to try and cut off the player coming in from the B doors. If Yabi falls, that might be enough to tip it over the finish line. But a flashbang in from a teammate. Both players spray. And Axel falls. Defani's down next. Hobbit, 1-on-3. Sees Hooksy, gets the shot in against him. Flashbang over, bomb being stuck here. He gets Roy. Oh, Hobbit! Oh my God! 4 kills for him as he somehow comes up with the clutch.
Oh my goodness, what a round coming through from Hobbit, and it comes down to the veteran to get the job done. Copenhagen Flames, that looked like that round was theirs. The flash over, Yabi getting into ramp, they deal with the angle down on the bomb site of Nefani, and then Hobbit wins this.
That third kill. That was something. That was something. Oh, baby. I feel like Copenhagen Flames might be sent for a tilt off the back of that one. 14-13 Gambit springing into life in this very tail end of the game. And Deagle sees there's a few pieces of Kevlar here and there for the CT side, just set in. Ready to receive. The T's trying to walk up. They're trying to get themselves back into the mid control.
That's got to be heartbreaking for Copenhagen Flames, knowing the setup they had, knowing the buy, knowing that was the round that gets them onto 15. They are making a decent lurk attempt. Roy catches off the first, not quite the second. Nico Eros is there with the trade. They've got bomb control.
On 3.
I don't think they knew, did they? I don't think they extended far enough to actually see that bomb.
No, I don't think they did. So that might well be a gamble stack that could lean into a simple A commitment. Shiro's still on the site, so we're going to draw their attention away. Best play right now for Gambit is to take that bomb, put it into the A site, leave Shiro back here, and probably force it safe from Copenhagen Flames to get exit frags. If they can get the 2 AKs out, this will be a successful round again for the CT side.
That bomb's coming B, mate.
It might not now. We've seen those last 2 players. Rotation back for Inters. It's 2 versus 2, and now AK's in both CT hands.
Oh, they're rotating away.
Oh, the mind games, Gambit.
Oh.
Bomb will go
Surely
down.
they go for this.
Yeah, again, Eco, AKs, CT sides, no kit. No, they're going to go for it. They want for the retake.
Hey, you got to back yourself. 2 kits of armor, and you've got the AKs too. You got to go in for the attempt. And even for Inters, he's waiting for that wrap. They could just play time on this T side.
AK leaning up, trying to wrap around the corner, look towards the boxes. Again, it's in the wallbang position. Is Defining going to get checked? Back's turn. Seen, tap headshot immediately. Where's the last man? Back to the right lane. Nico Otto takes face and he wins it. The quadra for him the same. And Copenhagen Flames will finally... Will they actually? Hold on. Diffuse kit,
Yeah,
not
they've got
in.
it. Yeah.
Okay, close. But it comes up good. It's map point for the CT side.
Yeah, Copenhagen Flames, that run out from A main, just not knowing how many of those CTs were there for Gambit, and just catching off the individual player of Nafany down in that cave position, just looking the completely wrong way. Seems as if they had complete misdirection on that play. I guess because they've got Inters in the back lines, they're expecting a wrap play to come in. Instead, they come up from that right side and just expecting a duel to come out from Cheetah. Copenhagen Flames get a steal.
That's a steal to map point. Aggression coming in towards lane. Engagements from the 1 CT that's out there. I think Inter's going to evade that position. I think they have info on where these players are set towards the back wall, though. All sorts of mid control. A is completely opened up, and as Axel starts to prod, he might find that info. Nico Rodos on rotation, hooks you to push forward a window, gets the kill on Inters to start.
They need a trade back. Axel trying to entry up towards that A side. They've got the bomb to follow. They've still got that lurk in the lane position. Pix trying to come back in for the CT side. They've now got themselves only 1 left to Hobbit. The one with the bomb in the temple position deals with the donut angle. He's all by himself.
Can't do much with it. Zipon to close it down. 16-13 for Copenhagen Flames. They take their map pick of Ancient. A bit of an effort there. Gambit made it close, and for a minute you thought the comeback was on, but there were some limiting factors that ultimately cost them this map.
And that was well played from Copenhagen Flames. They composed themselves even after losing that 3v1 situation to Hobbit. And hey, the map is theirs. It's a way into the series. It's a good start for the Danes.
Indeed it is, but with more challenges ahead of them, Gambit might have lost the battle. The war is not over. It's back over the desk to break it all down.
Copenhagen Flames is his pick, and they win it.
Well, yes, very simply put, that is very true. That is very true. An impressive feat, all things considered. That a strong start, then it looks like towards the tail end of the game that Gambit's coming alive, and there's no stopping them. That Hobbit 4K 1-on-3 craziness, you kind of would have thought that that's where Copenhagen Flames kind of let it slip away, but no, he banged it out, this map.
Yeah, and I noticed something else, that they had many situations on Copenhagen Flames' side where they just won outrageous pistol rounds. It felt like Gambit really didn't have any answers to those rounds, and especially in round number 19, something really bad happened.
Yeah, this isn't the Gambit that we've learned to love over the past year, losing to a couple of ecos. This one was maybe the uglier example of those couple. I mean, Copenhagen Flames, they had basically, I think, one deagle USPs, and the USPs even ending up getting most of the kills there. So that's not what we've been expecting to see from Gambit.
Yeah, there was also a close call that came down to only, I think it was 2 players alive from the Gambit side, with like a mid-rush coming in from the CT side of Copenhagen Flames.
Yeah.
So, unorthodox for Gambit to be struggling so much against these low buys / ecos.
Yeah, and something else that I want to talk about for the final clip is that Hobbit did something insane. It was just a ridiculous 1v3 that even got me screaming.
Yeah, I mean, this is the round where you started to think that the veteranship and the experience from Hobbit just brings them back out of a tough situation where that map point is so close for Copenhagen Flames. Hobbit brings it back in that unbelievable 1v3, especially the second fight. I didn't really think that he was going to win it. Basically, he's just mid-throwing that flash while the Copenhagen Flames player is pushing him. So that's where I'm thinking he gets caught off guard. But no, Hobbit just absolute calmness in that clutch. But then the other side of things, Copenhagen Flames, they don't get too depressed about it. They win the next round.
Yeah, no, that just showcases how, I guess, flustered they never get, no matter what the situation is. Seems like they can just keep everything at a similar level, regardless of the circumstances around them.
Yeah, and as we are going to talk about our highlighted player from Copenhagen Flames' side, I don't think it's a surprise that it is Yabi. He was just posting insane games throughout the game. And here we see him yet again with 30 kills, deaths, only 26, and even almost 100 ADR throughout the game. I think those are
I think we're running out of adjectives at this point to how to describe this guy. I'm not even sure if we... Like the only thing I can think of right now is that if I'm Copenhagen Flames, I'm a little worried for Ashalis to be calling.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I was actually about to ask you that, because he has been looking really consistent, and even against bigger teams. Could it be possible in the future that we would actually see him like in a better Danish team?
He's on a pretty solid Danish team as we speak, but who knows? I don't know the personality, don't know him, but he's very young. You know, I'm sure there's still a lot of improvement for him. This is not the peak performing Yabi yet, and still he's posting up these sick numbers. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him somewhere in the future.
Yeah, well, we've seen a lot of players going into Copenhagen Flames and then maybe bigger organizations picking them up afterwards. One that springs to mind is Far League, and I'm sure there's a lot of other examples also. So probably a lot of teams looking at Yabi right now pretty excited about his performances. But right now he's playing for the Flames. They just beat Gambit on Ancient. Things are looking up.
Yeah, and I want to take something else to account that before we actually move on to the next map is that Inters was not having a good game. There were many situations that it just felt too sloppy. He was just not playing a good game.
Yeah, those things happen to all of us. I mean, there was this one round at the end of it where he got double mollied, double naded, and he died off of those, where you feel for the guy. It's like, you know, you may as well just unplug your USBs at that point. There's nothing you can do. Things just happen. He had one nice 2K on when Copenhagen Flames was trying to push in. That was the only moment that I can really think of from the whole map where he had some impact. So that's one of those things. They happen.
Yeah, it happens. If you can bring it back on Mirage, then I'm sure we'll forget about this Ancient performance pretty quickly.
Yeah, okay. And Gambit were missing some utility, losing some pistols, looking a little bit sloppy. Will they be alive for the next map?
I'm sure that was a good wake-up call. Losing Ancient and now going into their own territory, you know, I'm sure they are ready for some vengeance.
All right.
Yeah, well, this was always going to be the map in the series that Copenhagen Flames were going to have the best chance to win on. They've been just grinding out this map so much, and they might well be one of the best teams on this map in the entire world. So, yeah, Gambit not happy about the loss, but they've still got 2 way better maps ahead of them in this series.
All right, and as Ancient goes to the way of the Copenhagen Flames, we are going to take a little bit of a break. After that, it's Mirage.
Red Bull Flick Invitational comes to Helsinki in November. Amateurs challenges the top names in Counter-Strike like Alex B and Valk, Dota and Diha, Nico and Hunter. Come and witness live the race for 50,000 euros. Get your tickets now at redbull.fi/flick.
We are heading into Mirage, and that is the opportunity for Gambit to make the series even. Guys, tell me a little bit about My Rage.
My Rage, well, Gambit played it a couple of days ago against the Finnish squad of Havu, and that was pretty ugly from Havu's side and quite beautiful from the Gambit side, right?
Yeah, pretty sure Pavel was, well, not maybe raging, but not having a good time over there.
No.
I think it was a 16-3.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, and it was like an exile show. He was just gaming over Havu all over the place, and it wasn't really a competition whatsoever. But yeah, definitely the stronghold for Gambit. So fairly sure that they will be coming guns blazing on this one, and a lot of work for the boys at Copenhagen Flames to try to close this out.
Yeah, I'm just already thinking about the CT side. Copenhagen Flames is going to start on that, and it just looks like it's pretty much a nightmare to play against Gambit on this map. Like, no matter what you see from the defensive side, you can't really judge where all the players from Gambit are. They might be double walking underpass. They might have a late explosion from Palace. Actually, might just walk up a ramp and get 2 kills. And okay, maybe you start off the round well. Maybe you get the entry. Maybe you fight it on to a 4v3 advantage from the Flames side. Well, Gambit, they don't really care. They might just still pull a rabbit out of the hat, and they do it so often that it's not just magic. It's basically science at this point.
Yeah, and Axel was one of those players who were having an amazing map on Mirage the last time. Who are the other names that we should be keeping an eye out? Because we already seen Hobbit doing some insane plays over at Ancient. He should be popping on this map too.
Yeah, well, you always look at Shiro. He's able to contribute. AWP, bang, bang. Is a pretty formidable AWP player. So, yeah, fun to watch.
And we have some graphics for the map. Let's take a little bit of a look. Gambit only has 6 times played for the last 3 months, but we know that that's not correct, or it might be correct, but they have a lot of this map under their belt. And it would be interesting to see them play against Copenhagen Flames, even though they have 11 times. And even the win percentage for Copenhagen Flames is 72.7, so it's not that bad of a map for them either.
Yeah, but what teams have they been playing?
Yeah, the quality.
They beat Havu, Lyngby, Vikings, AGO, but no top 20 teams as I can see here quickly. Just look at the match history. Well, Gambit has won it 5 out of 6 times, and the loss was against Virtus Pro, a double overtime. So Gambit just not giving up on this map easily.
And that 16-0 against Entropic.
Ugh.
You always give that a bit of a glimpse. Was T-side 15-0 as well. So I think
just unreal consistency.
Something else.
Yeah,
it's
if you look at the map all throughout the year for Gambit, also if you want a bigger picture, not just a 3 months, 6 map sample. Well, 27 wins, just 7 losses. So unbelievable consistency Gambit has been able to find on Mirage.
Okay, as we saw Gambit making Ancient just a little bit competitive at the end, we have to ask a question of Copenhagen Flames. What is the real key for them to have a chance on this map against Gambit?
Ooh, patience is key, because like Ro was saying, Gambit is just going to wait for you to make a move, for you to make a mistake. So you got to be very, very patient and then keep on winning situations. I was surprised to see how many like 3-on-3 or X-on-X situations after the bomb has gone down or the bomb shot has been lost. How many times Copenhagen Flames were actually the ones to take it. And they got to keep on doing that. It's easier said than done, though.
Yeah, and basically it feels tough, but you almost have to leave that one B anchor there throughout the whole round and never rotate onto A, no matter what you see, because Axel might just walk in onto the B side, and if it's left open, well, that's an easy side for them, and that's a strat that Gambit is very happy to use, so something to keep in mind for the Flames.
Okay, and just a fan question right here. Will we see like an op duel on this map? Important op duels?
Opping is definitely a factor on Mirage. The op can make a lot of maneuvers, a lot of plays. If he gets a good spawn, like no matter who it is, if he gets a good spawn for Palace, and go for that peak, connector, window, jumping off of window to short, like the ops typically play a big role on Mirage.
So yeah, what you're saying is that they have to just be a little bit more dynamic, maybe.
Well, I mean, they will be dynamic. I'm fairly sure we will see some gymnastics.
Yeah, so we're going to get some good up plays. And on Mirage, well, the next Dust Tree is going to be played right now. I'm going to show it to our casters. Have a good time with this one. We'll see you afterwards.
Well, a battle and a half to get us back into the series here for the likes of the boys over from Copenhagen Flames. They do get the map itself, Dweg, but I feel like this is where things now get in control of Gambit. I do have some concerns in relation to how this team are going to form up with some players not being in server today, but I feel like the off the back of a map that doesn't seem like it's 100% for Gambit. Now is where they come into their own.
Yeah, I'm not really worried. It was a loss, right? Map 1, you go into map 2. This is now where you get into the comfort zone. You go into Mirage. We saw some great T sides on it against Harvu. We've seen some good results overall recently from them. And for Copenhagen Flames, this is going to be a test for them. If they want to try and create an upset, if they really want to try and get something under here, they're going to have to get started. They're going to have to get more out of Yabby, and that's even going to be difficult considering he did so much in the first map.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the onus is on Copenhagen Flames. You know, Gambit didn't really feel like they knew how to play the 100%, you know, confident of Ancient. I don't feel like it's going to be the case here for Mirage. We've seen them play it time and time again. We know that they've got some great results on it, so I look forward to seeing how well Gambit can do here. They'll start things off on the T side line. Copenhagen Flames got to get an early start here in the pistol for our second map of the series.
Even going into the pistol, we're seeing Kit and Smoke coming through from Hooksy, so he'll probably have to be one of the rotating players. Now, he's actually using that kit on B, and this seems to be an A-set play, so he's going to have to be the one to try and help out the most.
3 players total to defend here. Roy's going to tap forward against the Gambit side, try to take some blind shots. Zippon's going to take some early damage. It's Hobbit with the first kill onto Yabby. First man out of play. Nico is extremely low, and Inters finds that kill pretty easy. Alongside Hobbit coming up with his. Roy and Hooksy 2 to respond. Can't quite find that third pick. Roy's going to still look for Axel on the site itself. So 3-on-2 advantage for Gambit. Still looking for those trades, still hunting for those picks, but Axel's headshot is just a little bit better. So it's a 1v3 for Hooksy on the kit.
And just knows that Inter's playing somewhere around this jungle position, can smoke him off, at least try and open up an idea to deal with the 2 frags on the side. And for Gambit, you just got a jump spotter, just waiting for information. Hooksy trying to see if he can isolate a couple of these duels. He's getting some damage in with the bullets, and Gambit just found so many entries on that bomb site, so much map control being taken away into jungle, into city spawn, and even for Hooksy, he's just running out of time at this point. No one's really peeking. Gambit are playing this 3v1-2 incredibly safely, just knowing we don't need a fight, we just jiggle peek, take a couple of shots here or there, and Hooksy hasn't even presented a kill just yet. Nice fight come through for Daphne, and there it is, an extra bit of money to come through. It makes sense. You know that you're pulling the distraction, so get the knife out.
I don't like it when people do that. I mean, it's an early pistol round.
Oh, you love it, mate. What are you on about? You love it when the knives come out.
It's just extra BM. It's just extra BM.
And you don't like that.
To be fair, it is money at the same time. And Gambit, in the early state of the game, they don't want a lot of money. Speaking of money, if you want to take a punt in this game, you can put some money down on Gambit over a cool bet. Or on Copenhagen Flames, you think they can win this map up 4 times on the money line. I can agree with that particular assessment. I think they had a similar set of numbers for their first map. But Gambit should have no such troubles here on map number 2. Force buy in for Copenhagen Flames.
And they've been pretty consistent, not just in this game, but in general in the ELISA event of Copenhagen Flames' forces and eco rounds being quite victorious. So chance for them to keep some pressure on out to this mid control. Not even seeing much pressure being applied, are we? Copenhagen Flames not even jiggling or looking for a fight in mid.
Backside to press up into the apartments here. Set with the Galil in hand. Nico Otis' scout is watching. Expecting there to be some sort of contact. So far sees so little here. Spokes are down towards the mid position. Afani going to jump face. Try catch Hooksy. Seen the spray. Takes that frag. Takes the start.
And now just start splitting their way into the B side. Nikodos gets punished straight away. The CZ falls in ladder. And they just get picked apart. Ziphon trying to hold with the Deagle. That doesn't happen at all. Gambit have come out of the gates of Mirage and they've just looked fresh, haven't they?
They have indeed. They look a lot more comfortable. Again, I do have some concerns about how they played out on Ancient. I did see some missed opportunities to utilize smokes and executions and little things like that which show that they're not confident on that map. Here on Dust 3, though, they are happy to just take all sorts of control and just out-firepower Copenhagen Flames.
Well, you wonder if they are going to have any surprises going to the major. Again, like Robu said in the desk, Nuke is always their perma, so they always ban that. And it does mean that if you do have a perma ban that always comes in, you have to strengthen on other maps. And it's probably a push in the right direction in the build-up to the major, knowing our Ancient needs some work.
He's getting some real-world match sharpness practice on it at the very least. And they tied up some of those little bits and pieces, and probably could still be a decent map for Gambit. Especially against the tier 2 teams, some of those lesser talk squads that will be in the major. Damage done towards Hobbit here is the only real effect the Copenhagen Flames are going to have in the eco. They will find 4 kills on Shiro. Pretty easy stuff again against the pistols, and the basic eco is done. 3 out at the start. Gambit now up against rifles.
Now, this is going to be the real challenge you'd have to imagine for Copenhagen Flames. So far, hasn't been all that easy. Now it's going to get even more difficult. Nico Odos 0-3 hasn't been able to get a pick just yet. Shiro just catching these eco frags down in the underpass. Nice and easy. Axel even just kind of walks into that B side. Sees that it's completely open. Gambit not being tested in the early stages of Mirage.
Galil's out on 3, 2 AKs. Hobbit trying to lean in. Good spray, good frag onto Roy. Yabi's going to find this responsive very quick on the trade to the CT side. Smokes on as Yabi leans up with the M4 Molotovs ahead of the ramp control. Looking for someone to peek forward here, but no one from Gambit's going to give it up.
It all just comes down to the timing on the con peak too. Nico Edo smokes off bottom con. He's playing there with the orb. Yabi repositioning. A lot of noise coming through in that window position, and Nafani just gets punished.
Good shot for Nico Odos. And he leans in. Inter's going to catch off the likes of that CT player, so he saves his teammate in that exchange. Orper of Nico Odos going to get flashed off as well, so can't really see anything. Does lean back in towards that default position, but nobody is giving up the ghost there for Gambit. There's someone's going to go back and get the bomb here. It might provide an opportunity for Nico Odos to find an angle. Backstab coming in as well for Hooks. This is going to get a bit more difficult for Gambit. They need that third player to come in from ladder and complete the flank.
And Nico Odos can't overextend with this orb. As soon as he gets up to this ticket position, he's a dead man. Gets mollied off, means that they're going to fall back. A lot of time wasting. Hooksy can drop this bomb.
Here the plant at the very least. Swing a little bit late against Inters. Will still catch that frag, so now it leaves it on Shiro and Axile. Still letting Axile coming in from that short control. Nico Odos just domes Shiro, and his bomb's not even planted for him, I don't think. Smokes onto it. Try and look for the defuse. As if on. Gets sprayed up here, and Axile does his damage. Flashbang out of connector. Hooksy now just going to regress. Good catch of the jump face, but Hooksy gets the trade.
Yeah, Gambit just not being able to read that backstab play. Hooksy coming all the way in the wrap into A main, and even Nico Odos has a teammate to peek with him to look back in that stairs angle. Multi-frags are not found at all by Gambit. 3 kills get found all individually by players. Inter's catching off Yabi over-aggressing, but it was really this play from Hooksy and Nico Odos. Even with the AWP shot, decent flick to come through, tight angle to hold on to Shiro. Gets Copenhagen Flames there first.
Yeah, nice start. The guns out, of course, falling the rifle round. Converting to a second fill off, of course, for Gambit, as you would expect there. Available economy state for the C side. Smokes on Incendiaries to stop them here. Always going to get a lot of mid controls as a result. Gambit have read it, though. Hearing those smokes extinguish the flames. Flashes to come forward, could catch them off guard once again. No, Shiro's ready for it. Evades that flash entirely, just lands that frag.
Just sort of playing anti-flash, aren't they? They're expecting that aggressive move to come in. Nico Odos might get punished by his over-aggression. Run boost can come out for this mid-position. Oh, I might have seen him. There's so many players to deal with, and Nafani peeks out. Ziffon's completely blinded, and that whole setup just gets destroyed by Gambit.
Yeah, Hobbit with the latest frag, 2 left, and Yabi and Hooksy. Nice attempt at getting the kills, just the damage being done to those players, however. All 5 are still alive, and the walkout to B site's pretty opened up. If they can deal with Hooksy on short, then they just have the site itself. There should be a 4th round for the likes of Gambit. Yeah, Axel to get that kill, and it just comes in so easy for them. They continue to have that new lease on life, that new level of confidence in transition from map 1 to 2. 4-1 to the T-side start.
And it's probably very good practice for some of these tier 2 teams to actually play the legit tier 1 teams, not like the big and the Ences that just lose their games being invited straight into the playoffs. We're talking about the elite squads that in that round right there, okay, first pick, it's kind of understandable. They're trying to make an aggressive info play. They're trying to catch them off guard. The next ones, you've got what? A window player of Nico Odos starting to make an aggressive mid portion. Then you've also got Xiphon. He was too slow to react. They needed to peek together. They needed to have that coordination tightened. And because they isolate those individuals, it just means that there's no way of a trade for Xiphon.
Xiphon's on 0-0-5 so far in terms of his frag assists and deaths. Not had much of a chance to really get going. In general, Copenhagen Flames numbers are pretty low because they haven't had chances to get frags. Gambit have just found those kills so easily and disallowed any opportunities here for the Flames. Yabby take his Deagle in here and try and put him some hurt. He's only had a single frag so far on this map up in the early days. Exile. AK set in the Farney's crossfire. They do find the kill on Yabby to drop that bomb. Exile's there for the quick responsive, so all that CT control gets removed from play.
The whole game just has a vibe of a very slow and methodical playstyle. Very unsimilar to how Fiend and Lyngby was. That was more pacey, more in your face, more sort of crazy Counter-Strike. This time around, it's more slow and passive. And even in this round, we're seeing for the Eco Pistols, they're doing some decent damage.
Well, another kill for you, Odo. So Hoochie comes up on Inters. What's going on here, boys? Gambit's about to lose to another Eco to Copenhagen Flames. That is at least the second time in this series. We had one over on Asian, and it kind of came out of nowhere there.
Yeah, they've been pretty awful on the anti-ecos is the best way of putting it. That is just another round that so many picks get found by a light eco. Hooksy with the Deagle hits some pretty banging shots. Still, though, it's no excuse. Gambit should not be losing rounds like that.
Triple in the round for that man. Now an AK in his hands, as rightfully so. 3 AKs here for the Copenhagen Flames. But you're right about that. Gambit.
This window smoke.
Oh, okay, now I'm starting to get a bit concerned now. Losing to an eco like that, missed utility, much like how it was missed utility over on Ancient as well. I'm not sure where this one goes now. At least Gambit have the buy-up. At least they have those full guns in. But they cannot afford to concede more here.
Even with these slight mistakes, you definitely can't start pinning Copenhagen Flames to start pulling ahead and start actually doing a lot of damage. You can expect them to keep the pressure on and try and see if they can punish some of those mistakes. Even with that mid portion, with window not being smoked, we're not seeing an over-aggressive play. We saw a boost up on that short position for Hooksy for a little while. Didn't quite see anything, so they back off of it. Gambit start leaning back over to the B side, perhaps.
Afani walking out with the AK to flash over. Now the peek in, turned away from Xiphon, moving up with the AK of his own. Misses his spray. Xiphon's going to get a chance to get a kill, but no. Xiphon wins out that fight, secures that short control for the Flames.
Yeah, Hooksy just posted up on this van position, got a teammate to back him up. Rotate can come in quite quickly from Roy and Gambit. They've got to act.
Molotov's in, Hooksy driving away, 20 seconds to the hit, and Xiphon and Hooksy set with the crossfire. Roy's going to catch off one player out towards bottom and mid, so Hobbit's going to fall, and Gambit are just going to fall back and save their weapons. Too much resistance here on the CT side, and there's not really much the Russians can do about it. They've got to call in the safe call. It's just way too low on that timer, and it will be 3 to the board of the Danes.
It seemed as if they were really hoping that Hobbit was going to find a mid play. Roy was keeping the angle held and just waiting for that wrap, waiting for the lurk attempt to come through. And once that happens, 3v5, you don't know how stacked up that B site is. Numbers are low, not a great amount of utility. Just hold on to weapons, bring it into the next round, take that tactical. And Gambit, not only was the first map a wake-up call, but going into round 8, you'd have to imagine is going to be a wake-up call as well with their performance on Mirage.
Tactical take in here for the Gambit side. Again, probably shouldn't be getting off on this much of a loose state. Copenhagen Flames still with the 3 AKs and the AWP out. Plenty of rifle firepower for the CT side, and Gambit have got to counteract it soon. Imagine what a shock it would be for Copenhagen Flames to win out this map against Gambit. I know it's so early. I'm not calling it yet. But with the way this is going, my confidence has been rocked by Gambit.
Yeah, they could definitely try and keep it competitive, that's for sure. And they're not going to get blown out of the water like Harvu did on this map. Back into that top mid position. Seeing that Incendiary goes down will force Nafani out to that left-hand side. Gambit have a lot of players outside of A.
Mostly in the ramp and palace positions. One player up towards top mid may also be joined in by a teammate who's a little bit further back. Just sitting here for the time being, and we'll start to take some amount of mid control. Gambit are going to wait for this setup to split into the site.
Now, Reesmo goes down to bottom of Con. Couldn't be timed any better. Nafani receiving some HE damage and just the util usage on point here. Gambit going to start to sneak their way up through connector. There could be no eyes on this.
Zifon can't see it. Exile start walking into the smoke, starts to fade. Perfect chance of Zifon to get that kill. Back to turn to Scene. Spray on the one man. Yabi able to get Hobbit out in the open, still engaging in towards that ramp control to finally gets that one trade. Yabi still holds. Is he going to get flanked from Palace? Is Nico Orders with the orb onto connector? Deals with that presence with these last two players left at Inters and Shiro. Utility down, flashes over Nico Orders, lands against the last man. It's Orders to Shiro in a 1v4.
Now, they've definitely done their homework. Copenhagen Flames, you can see by the util usage, the way that Zifon's able to get into that short position. And for Gambit, they had, what, 2 con players? No one is looking up at that short angle. No one mollies. No one smokes it off. So it just allows a free sightline in. And from there, you can just start pulling distraction. Shiro's even going to fall to Yabi, aggressing in from Palace. Copenhagen Flames adding more to the tally. And so far, they look very composed in that last round.
4 apiece. Gambit and Copenhagen Flames have gone blow for blow here on Mirage. Surprising fashion as well. I thought Gambit were going to have no issues, but a couple of decent rounds for Copenhagen Flames. Mistakes still being made here by the T side. The Eagles, Tech 9, a P tier 50 for Hobbit. And the T's up and out into the apartments. In from underpass, try to play a fast kind of round. It's a bit of an eco, so it kind of is just to take it on the chin, see if you can get a bomb plant, see if you can get some damage. Not really focusing on too much here.
It is still early into Mirage, but so far so good for Copenhagen Flames. This is a chance for them now to not lose much to the eco. Normally it's been Gambit really struggling against these anti-ecos. Let's see what it's like the other way.
One player drops down, Hooksy adjusts towards him, nice kill. The T-side completely evade all of the apartments face back towards mid. One player in ramp. A minute on the clock for Gambit's action. Nafani 2 taps the Eagle. Does not get the kill to Nico Odos. The nade finishes off the job towards him. It's 5v3.
Just getting picked apart. And so far, the Deagles haven't been able to find much success at all. And I like the Copenhagen Flames are still playing this quite passively, not making info plays, not overly aggressing unnecessarily. So hold your angles, play defensive on the sites. And for Gambit, they're going to end up on A. It just depends with how many picks.
30 seconds. Good shot for Nico Odos. Roy finds Inters and Hobbit in a 1 versus 5. Does try to find his bomb plant. Ooksy's making noise. And Hobbit does not win that fight. Nice attempts, not to beat. And a lead now for Copenhagen Flames.
I guess, too, what does make it easier with these Tier 1 teams is because there's less data and they don't play as many maps on record as maybe some of the Tier 2 teams does. When it comes to preparation and it comes to downloading demos and watching all of that, it's got to be easier against the Tier 1 teams because you've got less sample size. You try and read a Copenhagen Flames on Ancient, are you going to sit there and watch 20 demos in the last 3 months? It comes down to sometimes less is more. And that could be the advantage from a couple of these underdog teams when they face off against Tier 1 caliber, is that because the Tier 1 teams play less, there's more to look at.
Second tactical timeout to make the adjustments here for Gambit. Losing the lead and losing out pretty heavily to the Flames at this stage. Lead game by the CT Forces, of course. What's the adjustment? They've got the rifles out at the very least, and there will be AKs across the entire T-side board. Still the exact same 3 AKs. That has worked well so far. Nice to get that as a 4th M4 into a 4th AK. As it stands, though, it's just defaults coming in from Gambit. No chances to get any of those rifles at the moment for the CT side. They'll just dish out some damage. T's walk into mid.
Trying to have more approach of making it difficult with the time required to be able to get this mid control. And finally going to put down a top con smoke to siphon off Roy in that jungle area. And for Gambit, so far on these mid walks, they haven't actually managed a massive amount. And there it is. It's Roy actually getting the kill, just a straight spam.
Training as Stefani, man down. Start out AK in for Hooksy. A little bit awkward with his engagement. He doesn't quite lose it, but takes a bit more damage instead. Hobbit, M4 leaning, does not catch Roy. Sees Yabi instead, but Roy turns back in at the right moment. And again, timing's going to work well for the Flames.
That was a sick play to come out from Roy. Just could not have timed that any better. Backing up his teammate to perfection. And for Gambit, that was a hole that they thought they had exposed. Walking up to connector, getting into that stairs position, trying to open up the A site, and Roy's got a multi-frag.
The AWP set for Nico Odo's backed up here at the CT stairs. Ready for even more Gambit presence. The flashbang in is going to blind him in part. The AK of Yabi going to get back out of dodge. Try looking for Inters in the next frag. 20 seconds, Gambit have got to make their move in. Inters looking towards Dark. Doesn't see where Yabi is. Yabi going to get his kill alongside Roy. They make it a triple. Bomb dropped. Shiro, lone man standing out towards ladder room. Just got to hold on to the weapon here. Copenhagen Flames, a 6th clean round for the CTs. Gambit, not exactly the start we expected from them. Went 4-0 up at one point. Copenhagen Flames have found 6 in a row.
It just feels as if they're playing to the fullest of their potential. We're starting to see what Copenhagen Flames can be like, tested against the very best, and they're holding themselves well. Kill distribution is decent. Everyone's finding impact. And just the amount of T-side weapons they've been able to hold. We've seen, 2 or 3 AKs at probably minimum being saved in every single round for the last 4 in a row as such.
Now those 4 AKs can come in for Copenhagen Flames. Guns out, cross the board. T side trying to find a 3-pronged attack into the A site. 3 players out of Palace's Axel with that first kill. Yabi to line up 2 players. Gets only the 1 frag for it. But Ziffon's there to find Axel. Lean back in against Hobbit. The spray not quite as great for Yabi. He's running out of bullets, tapping his way onto victory, but can't connect those shots, so it's a 3 versus 3 instead. Roy looks up, out of dark, enters, pops out. Hobbit seen. Next player seen is Shiro. Hobbit gives up his life to a 2K for Roy, and Shiro in a 1 versus 3 clutch scenario. As great as he is, he's not going to win this one. 7 to the board of the Flames.
Poor spacing there for Gambit. Roy is just able to pick him off. Notice how you've got 3 players, in Palace, 1 on the floor, and 1 sort of around that Tetris position. If they just slow that down for Gambit, they can swing together, swing as a unit, and allow a dual peek instead. That doesn't happen. Roy does a fantastic job of wasting time, repositioning back out to that stairs position, and just isolating all of these 1v1s.
Gambit starting to feed themselves to the Copenhagen Flames. And I'm starting to get worried. Yes, it's a CT side for the Flames. I understand that. But as you mentioned over on Ancient, Gambit have got some amazing T sides under their belt. Why are we not seeing that here on this map?
Again, I think it's the caliber of opposition they faced from Harvu to Copenhagen Flames is not even in discussion as being the same. Yeah, Harvu is starting to come back. They got Yemi back into the lineup. They're starting to rise up the rankings. Copenhagen Flames did incredibly well on LAN at the RMR. They've started to push themselves into 15th in the world. They dealt with Finest and Fnatic without even the Fnatic game dropping a map. So the level of competition is raised, not by a massive amount. Definitely not to the caliber that they're used to playing. It still has.
Nades on, Axile tagged early, Hooksy jump facing incendiaries. T-side players make their way out. Ziffon finds his kill, kicks things off with the right foot. Hooksy back of jail, will keep his eyes set towards Inders, gets his double up, nice and efficient, looking for the triple, not quite against Stefani. The Tech 9 gets that one responsive. He can dive out, meanwhile the bomb gets dropped out towards Palace, so unfortunately there will be no real bomb plant bonus for Gambit here. 8 to the board of Copenhagen Flames, 4 in the lead. The T's have another bye.
And we've heard quite a few interviews from Hooksy over the course of the playoffs, where he's kind of spoken about all the hard work and all the homework he does, and maybe he's not the most individually skilled player. Both map 1 and map 2, individually, he's been striking. He's been hanging with some of the top fraggers for Copenhagen Flames. And it's always a good sign knowing your in-game leader is stepping up in those crucial matches, those high-pressure situations, like a game against the second-best team in the world.
Well, regardless, even if Copenhagen Flames get reverse swept from here and just lose all the rounds in the next 2 maps, they can still be proud of the fact that they got a map win above Gambit and still took it close on their own pick. A lot of positivity Copenhagen Flames are going to walk away from this series with. Gambit start looking at try and maintain their position 1-for-1. Ziffon on Axel with the first couple of trades.
Now, opening man advantage lasts about half a second and gets traded back incredibly quickly. And for Gambit, out to these mid defaults, we haven't seen a lot of over pushing. Roy with the nade back onto Axel, another nade coming in. The chip damage is fantastic.
Just tagging Axel down to less than 50. M4 leans up for Roy, looks out and over into the connector control. Still spotting nothing, just jump facing. The flashbang comes over and the T's make their way up. Yabby, M4, set and ready. Molotovs counteracted by flashbangs. Dark's not going to get cleared out. There's nobody there from the Flames. Is anyone going to check sandwich? Enters Will. Yabby still wins that fight. Looking for Navani next up. No support. Util and Roy can get his triple as he turns back towards connector, having lined up 2 players out of ramp. Man, Copenhagen Flames are doing everything to counter Gambit here.
They're doing everything right, is the bottom line here. Roy peeking on the contact, getting a good timing, showing up, and he's been getting a lot of multi-frags. You have a look at all of the rounds. You go back and watch this demo of Roy. He's playing in jungle, he's playing top con, in and around that position on the A side, and he's getting a lot of damage. And just this streak, 8 in a row to come in for Copenhagen Flames. Haven't seen a single bomb plan for Gambit.
Remember how before we were talking to Fiend after their series, they were saying it's going to be a tough series for Copenhagen Flames? Right now in this map, it hasn't quite felt that way. Gambit, half buying in for round 14, will get a buyback for 15, but if they go 11-4 down, where does that leave us?
Well, it leaves us thinking about the rematch, doesn't it? The match to qualify for the major. Copenhagen Flames versus Fiend only very recently.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about of grand finals here. 50K on the line for first prize. Gambit, they don't want to be thinking about that. They want to be thinking about their split into the B side. Nico Eros having eyes on short.
Smokes in, Tech9's out, M4 for Hooksy, just can't hold on. Hobbit gets his frag. Burst fire from Ziffon, trying to look for these players, trying to look for these picks. Axel flashes his way forward. Shiro can't turn that AK into a frag. Finally, some decency from Gambit, a 5-on-3 advantage. Roy will try to get some trades started. He finds Axel, Shiro's low. Hobbit's on 2 points of HP. Engagement against Shiro wins that fight. Hobbit can trade it right back though. 3-on-2 advantage, 2-on-2. Standing at evens. Copenhagen Flames have the guns now. Finally's picked up an M4, enters deal up close here. Around the corner of the pillar, yeah. B takes face, takes fight. Nafani held out towards short. The bomb's not even planted for him. And Nico Otis will get that kill in regardless.
Oh, well handled. They looked very coordinated on that retake. Even for a moment, they seem as if they're down in the dumps. Those B anchors just got destroyed. Those were some great entries that came through from Gambit. Get that bomb down, you start thinking to yourself, oh, okay, how's this going to go? Hobbit striking with the Deagle, the pick coming on from Shiro to the Apps player. And then just start overwhelming Roy and co coming back in for the marker position. And they take it like a breeze.
Double digits for the Flames, at least a 10-5 half as it stands 10-4 to their favor. Gambit can still make it a 5th. But man, none of us were expecting this. Don't even think Gambit were expecting this. Nades up, smokes down, incendiaries up towards that top mid control. Nico Odo's going to try and dish out some damage, and he'll be successful in the interim. Start out tag against the likes of Hobbit. Not quite below half HP, but it's still damage being done.
Now, Gambit are just desperate for a 5th. Just end the half on a positive note. Give yourself a way back in. Copenhagen Flames, they're playing triple con setup.
I'll be ready for Gambit split play. Going out from underpass to maintain mid control. Top mid gained as well. I have a good read here on this one. It depends where Gambit go with this. That bomb could commit to either side.
And Nick Erdos just hoping for a gap in that smoke. Roy actually dies to the spam, and Anthony, we see at least Xiphon trying to get back in. There could be a walkout to the A site as well, and Nico Erdos is just expecting a window play.
Eagle waiting, takes his swing. Shiro there to catch him off at a 5 versus 3 now. Copenhagen Flames leaving one man in the back of the B side, getting out to market. 2 players out towards the A side. Shiro lands his frag onto Yabi. A second onto Xiphon as well. Hooksy well away from position, 1 on 5. Just much more methodical round here from Gambit, the kind of round we expect to see from this T-side line. And indeed, they will find their consolation prize. A 10-5 half still for the Flames. Gambit transitions to the CT half.
I don't know if it's enough, to be honest. The Copenhagen Flames have really brought themselves into this game. They've played well on Mirage, and we didn't really see a lot after a 4-1 lead. You have a look at having 9 rounds in a row, finally being answered back. Individuals not really showing like they normally did, and Roy, the oldest guy on this lineup, has been a crucial part to their success in the first half.
Already rocking 15 kills for the man. 113 ADR. Posted up the numbers here for the Flames, and definitely have been the important element to allow them to get as far as they have. But it's not just him. There's been major support surrounding him. There's been a great tactical basis employed there by the Flames on the CT side. Can they transition it over to the T half? Gambit now have a chance to start making up some decent ground here, but they've got to get a pistol round in. If they lose this, Copenhagen Flames will be within a bit of a close shave of the map victory. Inters knows he doesn't want that. It's him and Afani to defend the site. The Fuse get on the Afani, hopping against that first frag. Nice and easy out towards Rat, but Roy and Yabi there with trays, and they make it 3 for 1 on the response.
Great entries going down to that B-side. Shiro been coming out for Mark and can't find anything. Another triple kill round coming into Roy. And Copenhagen Flames, they try to sell the fake. Cooksy was the A player. He was trying to over-rotate them. They come out of the apartments, and even though they lose that first fight to Hobbit, they start striking straight away. Gambit just getting overwhelmed. Roy with a class round again.
Okay, now it's time to be concerned here for Gambit. Now it's time to be very concerned. I know you don't want to play the full capacity and like reveal strats for the major and such, but
no excuses.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, like, I don't see that as really being a reason why you should be losing out on this aspect. Like, the Gambit side, we know, should be able to out-frag, outplay Copenhagen Flames. We know that they're great at tactics. We know that they're great at firepower. It feels like something's missing right now.
Yeah, it's Copenhagen Flames showing up. That's what's missing and normally and not coming here today. Copenhagen Flames, it does start to show. I know that you're not quite sold on it, Jay, but the best of ones, it wasn't a fluke. They really showed up on land. These guys were getting praised by everyone.
On the best of 3 contacts, they definitely made it happen so far here in the playoffs, so credit where it's due. And here against Gambit, this would be a shocking result for this squad. And for this organization, it probably would be one team that were able to defeat Gambit in their prime. Axel finds Xiphon at least, gets 1 exit frag of the MAC-10 involved. A force buy, of course, for Gambit in this round, so they kind of wanted to go for the round itself. But with that AK, it might be better to call in the save call, cut their losses. Diga the Shiro will stick around, try to get more exits, but even he'll back off to Cubby.
Shiro just getting overwhelmed. Dual peek out to that CT spawn area. Gambit just going to hold on to the last couple of weapons that they have. Nick Erdos even getting that backstab in from top mid. Struggling with the Galil. Does at least get that 1 pick. So it should be that AK being recovered for Axel. 12 on the board for Copenhagen Flames. And again, to go back to the history books, the 9th of March 2021 was when we saw Copenhagen Flames in the quarterfinals of Snow Sweet Snow 2, upsetting Gambit. In their prime, like you mentioned, they were winning a lot of events up until that point. I think that they were the 4th highest rated player going into that match, or the 4th highest ranked team, I should say, going into that one. And they lost the best of 3, 1-2. It was Copenhagen Flames coming out on top. Yes, it was a slightly different lineup. Basilian Manx, Nodius, Yabi, and Nico Erdos. It's still Copenhagen Flames.
Kind of feels poetic if this tournament this final had took place a week earlier, because we would have been exactly 1 month, 7 months to the day of that defeat. Copenhagen Flames taking apart the likes of the Gambit side. And one good pistol kill for Nafani. And Ziphon comes up with a kill out of the apartments. Only that one frag though. Shiro trying to hold on to decency, but ultimately this eco is going to get cleaned up. Teammates for Copenhagen Flames, 3 alive, and they lose a couple of AKs in that one. And a true buy back in for this half. Gambit need to take this rifle round. If they can't do it, then we will be in trouble.
It's wherever the star players. Where's the Shiro that dropped an average 1.45 rating in the RMR? Where's Axel that dropped an average 1.22 rating and put up ridiculous numbers? We're seeing both of the star players not really finding a lot of form, not a lot of impact here on the second map of their map pick, a Mirage. Copenhagen Flames, I mean, they're even running Hooksy on a Mac 10 going into round 19.
Mentioned in the last map as well how Inters has had a bit of a shocker over on Ancient. Similar story right here for this map. 2 kills deep for him. Nafani on 9 kills, his first casualty in this round. Copenhagen Flames catching Gambit off form and tearing them apart. Imagine they meet them like this in the major. Like, that would be something. I know that it's a very different environment, LAN, online, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's going to make all the caveat points, but the results don't lie. We're 2 for 2 between Flames and Gambit. It will be if this keeps going on this way. Damage has been done to Yabby and Hooks. There's trade potential. But there's a lot of work that Gambit need to do outside of this round to get themselves back in.
So they've got a lurker, Roy, down in bottom mid, just trying to see if he can catch the rotates. A lot of damage has been done. Inter's actually striking back to a 4v4. Seeing that bomb drop down, Axel gets swung on, but the CTs are rotating into B and finding a lot of connections. Inter's with 3.
Every time we call out Inters for having a bad performance, he comes up with a multi-frag round. 3 kills for him, makes it a quadra. Copenhagen Flames capitulate on the execution here. AK on Roy, 1v4. Axel's going to secure that final frag, and Gambit will finally get their first to the CT side.
It's an answer. It's a way back in. Inter's on the off angle, looking up to that window into the apartments. And you mentioned 2 kills. Look at the turnaround. Look at how he's able to strike, have that crossfire being set with Axel in the short position. Those rotators coming in from the market angle as well. Gambit need more, though. Yeah, we can sing and praise their performance in one particular round. They're still down 6-13.
M4's up for Nafani, looking up towards the mid-control, trying to get aggressive and continue the hurt against the Copenhagen Flames. Of course, force buy for the T side. Nades involved for Inters. I think they're a little bit too shallow, I say that, and the nades actually timed well against Ziphon, who starts to move up and does that tag to 60 HP.
Yabby going for the mid-walk, in with a teammate Nico Erdos still at that top mid position. Very dry. They don't have a lot of util to work with at all. And even for Yabby, he could get caught off by the AWP Shiro that peeks up from this ticket area. They do smoke off top con, so it allows him to sneak in.
Walks involved. The AWP is gonna catch Yabby somehow. Barely even seen him. Takes a dink off against him. Falling back, the flash is over. Inters trying to lean in towards the T side line. Axel getting up to position. Spray through for Inters. Catches Ziphon next. 5 versus 3. Seeing Roy. Shiro comes up with the next frag on towards Roy. Inters can make it a double, almost a triple. Hooksy, bomb on his back. Could possibly secure the bomb plant, but CT is so close here, and they're going to try to counteract him.
Yeah, you got to imagine, just get the bomb down safe. Give yourself that extra cash injection. Put that smoke out, expecting the CTs to work around it. And now he's pretty much given up the timer, so there's no real way he's going to be able to get this bomb down. Has to try and face him for the short position. Could actually fake it, draw out the fights. They're going to peek in, and they don't deny the bomb. That's some extra cash.
Don't think it'll be enough to go for a full buy, though. Money's going to be a little bit tight for the Copenhagen Flames. They probably do find themselves a half investment and then probably go towards the next gun round. Have a look how it looks specifically. Yeah, that's probably the best call.
Yeah, buy down to what? 2K floater. You got 2,400 in the next round, so you can invest ever so slightly. Can we say that was a missed opportunity? There was a lot of damage done onto Shiro. That could have been the opening man advantage coming through from Yabby with that Galil, just not quite finding that fullest of connection.
The pistols out for Copenhagen Flames. The Eagles Glock P250. Gambit should be on for their 8th round. A basis to build back against the Copenhagen Flames. Those 5-round differentials that they struggled to bring back over on the first map could become a problem here for the second one. M4, Nafani in towards that mid control with Axile leaning up to try and catch players off the Copenhagen Flames. Incendiary is ready for Inters. Holding down the apartments. We'll keep Xiphon at bay for now. Let's push up for Roy.
Copenhagen Flames have done some work on these ecos, haven't they, over the course of this series? Map 1 and Map 2, they've done a lot of damage. Nafani, does take some damage to a dink that came through the wall for that Deagle.
Nice damage done at this stage. It could be a trade, but as the T's fall, eventually Roy will catch that frag. So there you go. 1 pick. Second pick. Okay, Hobbit's nade. Able to finish him off so it doesn't hold on forever. Xiphon won't have to do any more damage. A 3rd kill here could be important for the Flames.
And still keep the money line tight, trying to see if they can drop as many weapons in as possible. Nice sequence from Roy again. Another multi-frag round for him. Xiphon picking up the M4A1S. Timing. Shiro doesn't see him.
Hobbit does, though.
Oh, well.
I thought for a second he was going to sneak past Shiro and try to find the kill on the Hobbit. And if he got that kill because of that timing, then that probably would have been heartbreaking. For Gambit, though, it is still going to be a round secure with 3 players alive. 8-2 the board. These ecos are starting to build up some decency right here. The guns out, of course, with a rebuy back for the T side line should be in effect. Simple stuff for Gambit as of late, but again, the challenge is going to be those gun rounds is what they struggle with the most.
Now for Copenhagen Flames, having some more pace out to mid this time around. Hooksy does not see immediately the underpass play. There's 2 CTs here.
Roy's in trouble. Let's go get that flashbang out, try to force that player away. He swings back and Shiro doesn't miss those. Smoke down to suppress Xiphon. Drop in from Axile. Will go ahead and join his teammate. But Xiphon could have 2 frags right here. Gonna line them up, spray manically. Get Shiro eventually. There's Axile somewhere out there, but he runs out of ammo. And the M4 comes up with a trade. A 2-for-1 that favors Gambit.
Yabi's trying to get a timing, just walk out from this balcony position. There's one under the ladder, and Hobbit is able to catch him. That's the lurk attempt comes through. Nafani now deals with Nico Odos. That whole round looked as if we could have seen a couple of kills coming through from Xiphon, who was going to trade on to Roy. It just doesn't quite happen. Gambit hold their line.
All right, we're back. Gambit are back in this game, in this matchup, in Counter-Strike in general. A 9th up to that board here. Copenhagen Flames running into the wrong places at the wrong times. Good attempts at the trades, especially from Xiphon in the underpass, but ultimately not to be that successful in the round itself. Tactical pause taken by the T's there. First called in by Copenhagen Flames. Still 3 more to hold up here. They've got plenty in the back pocket. But the question is, what can they do for this round? They're on an eco.
Have a new chat with their new appointed head coach of Pitta. Joined the team just under 2 months ago now and has put the team in a very good position. Copenhagen Flames looking to see if they could bounce back quickly. And it seemed as if they had the right idea and the approach. They see that sort of underpass smoke and they have that realization. That's why Roy even flashes before peeking that there is an underpass play coming in. And even in that round where they had the expectation, they did everything right, they still lose out the fights.
Copenhagen Flames on the deco, a half buy round technically because they've got Kevlar and a little bit of util for Nico Odos. Damage taken by Xiphon and by Roy. Roy takes the kill against Fani's name, so frag found for the Gambit side. Copenhagen Flames yet to find a trade here against the CT side.
They're just waiting for a mistake. You can see that Yabi's just holding the tight angle in the Palace position, just waiting for a CD to move forward. Hooksy on the dry face out to mid. It's an answer back.
Axile down, 4 on 4. Now looking up towards that B side where Inters is set with the M4 in his hands. Xiphon, Nico Odos. Spotting. Inters has the info. Will he call in the backup? Apparently not. Will take the fight directly. Flashbang's going to keep him blind. Flash out to the left, peek into the right. Xiphon out towards bench has been seen, and Inters trying to get into some harder cover. He's got 30 HP, needs the support from his teammates. A kill comes into Yabi out towards the A side, thinking about that lurk play. That might have brought in a rotation had that kill gone the other way. The bomb plant will try and look to be secured here by Hooksy. So they get some extra money out of this round. A 3-on-2 retake for Gambit, and they should be able to overwhelm these pistols.
Yeah, they're so low HP. The T-side players just can't really peek and just have to hope that they can peek on one another. And yeah, that's them getting caught out into the open. Now, there was that one individual of Yabby that just walked forward onto A and was able to get right up to the triple box. The problem is Gambit weren't moving. They still had that A player in Hobbit that was just keeping eyes on, just in case there was a lurk attempt, which is exactly that came out. I would say Copenhagen Flames would be happy with the situation they got there. 2 kills and a bomb plant. Slightly disappointed knowing that round was kind of winnable with only one B player.
And in the grand scale of things, it's still damage and extra money invested into this next round, of course. So we should be seeing the full guns out with no compromises on the bite. And yeah, AKs, AWP, all sorts of utility being brought out here by the Flames. Some of the smokes in the incendiaries that are ready for Nafani. Go try and stop them from making their way out into that mid control for now. Good enough just to stop this run boost from coming in effectively for the T side. But suppression involved. No one has seen anything.
Dane's just looking to see if they can bounce back. 5 rounds in a row they've lost. They've only managed a couple of bomb plants. Shiro aggressive up into that palace position, trying to get the jiggle peaks out. They can swing on the contact, try and get this 1-for-1 trade. And no, the connection only comes through as a leg.
That's a big kill to win out for Yabby. An uncharacteristic mistake there from Shiro. Thrown off by the flick. And where do they go from here, Gambit? Copenhagen Flames have control. 5-on-4. Yabby's tradable, but the set piece is coming into the A site, and that might not matter.
And just go for the smokes down on A and allow Nico Odos just to keep eyes on to that mid portion. They're actually going to bring Hooksy over, so this could actually turn into an A split. And Gamble stacking, aren't they? They're just playing 3 on B. Hobbit is going to have the hold of a lifetime.
One man that stands between Copenhagen Flames and their 14th round. Rotations are coming back here for the CT side, so they might be quick about this. The rotations get cut off towards that short control in particular, so keep your eyes on that minimap. Hooksy starting to walk in. I think Axel might have seen him. Player spotted. Hobbit comes up with a frag. Now, how about backups arrive? Hobbit's found 2 kills. Definer's going to get traded. Axel and Hobbit are holding it down. It leaves it all on Xiphon. 1 versus 2. He's found 1 pick already. We'll get the bomb down. But Gambit, surely after the gamble stack, this should not be a round that was winnable for them. Smokes in. Xiphon going to try to get out towards Sandwich here in both sets of footsteps. He should be aware of this. Bit of an aggressive angle. Axel scene sprays good. Where's the second man coming from the exact same angle? And Inters will just hold it together for Gambit.
What a hole that was for Hobbit. He was the only A player, Jay, and he got 3 kills around that default and underbout position. That is such a great round from him. After such a perfect start comes through for Copenhagen Flames, Hobbit just deals so much damage, allows time for those rotates to come in. Even that wallbang shot to the top of Balk.
A frag that probably shouldn't have come through for him, and one that had it missed probably would have made the difference for Copenhagen Flames. 13-11. Gambit are back in this one. 2 rounds to catch up. Another buyback, of course, for the T-side line. Gambit investing heavy. Got a lot of cash to spare. Dip into those savings accounts to try bring the fight to Copenhagen Flames. The AWP for Nico Odos. Bursting out towards the mid-control. Looking in. May have seen that player popping out a connector. 1 CT thinking of aggressive, just put the incendiary onto Nico Odos instead. He smokes it to ensure he maintains control of the position, but tanks a lot of damage, seeing the shoulder, doesn't catch the frag.
Yeah, knows there's a short player, can't really do much about it. Hobbit going back over to the A site, he's got 2 players in the top of connector to try and work with. You have to wonder what they can do with this, just a walk out of A. Something they haven't done is a dry tech of the A site, so I wonder if that comes in at all.
Nafani and connector looking for Hooksy. It's got Nico Odos all the way up towards top mid. That AWP supporting with that short flank. And Nafani sees him. What a flick and adjustment. Again, so quick are the reactions here for Gambit. Nico Odos will try and respond with one of his own. Does find that frag, so connector removed. Play up towards short. Axel sees him throwing a flashbang. Strikes at the right moment to get the 4-on-3 advantage for the CT side. Orb shots missing. Hombit still at dark. Not accounted for by the T side. Lines Xiphon walking in. Roy can catch that wallbang headshot. The AWP is Shiro now. Back over at Ticket Booth. Bomb needs to get planted. They're running out of time. Only 25 seconds left.
And they're going to struggle to get this bomb down. Nowhere safe on the site. They can keep putting this util forward. Try and see if they get that bomb plant open for CT. They tap it once, try draw the fight, and there it is for Royal to Axel. Another play coming into Connector. And Ziffon now hits the shot. Shoro, the last one left in the 1v2, goes over to the 5-7. Both players trying to play together, and Roy finds a connection. A massive round for the two players. Roy finding 3, 1 in for Ziffon, and Copenhagen Flames are up to 14.
What a hold from Roy. Eyes set directly at Connector and dealt with everyone that poured their way in. Even made it a triple to the CT member. Shiro was left dead on his ass with all his teammates dropping out of the rounds. 14-11. Copenhagen Flames, their second tactical called here, with 2 to the difference between them and the win above Gambit.
You can't teach that, mate. That's just experience, the way that Roy played that. They know 2v3. Lack of util, lack of time, Shiro's out in CT. They have got to start taking fights. There's no way they can get that bomb down. They plant open for CT, Shiro could swing. They plant open for Connector, they don't know about the mid players. They realize, okay, let's try and tap it once and draw the fights, get the CTs to scramble on, and between the two of them, they just make that look easy.
Gambit forced to force the issue once again. Rifles can get bought. AWP 4M4s. Shiro's all upset at the gap in a smoke. Nico Odos want to extend out fights. Hook step falls first to Hobbit, and the leg shot comes in. Roy can find a responsive on the site itself. Shiro looking back towards these T-side players. The bomb should cross and get planted. Nico Odos will cut off rotations. The retake should be on for Gambit. It's just a case of stalling for time here. Copenhagen Flames being a little bit careful about where they go about this bomb plant. Need to get another pick in.
But they do have a player in top of con for the CT side they don't know about. Ziffon even taking some further damage. That bomb can't go down.
Axar spraying through from Connector, or from short through Connector. Team to fire away as Yabi finds Nafani. Looks for a bit more, grabs that bomb. Can they rotate it? The AWP of Shiro. Smoke's about to clear. He sees that one man, gets caught off for it. Yabi doing damage, but Shiro comes up with a kill. Only the one kill though. Roy with a triple of his own enters now. Bomb in his vision. Nico Odo's coming in from the mid control. They don't know where he's at here. He's going to play quiet and careful. Look back in for contact, but not see the T side.
But they know he's the B player, so they're thinking that he's still rotating in from CT spawn or out to short. They might not expect him here at Firebox.
Up over the stairs. Nico Odo's caught. 1v1. He knows where Roy is. That nade's coming in real quick to his position. 26 HP. Incendiary and smoke to suppress it. Roy's going to try and make his way back in. That smoke went to Connector though. Inters have played this perfectly. Man's going to charge out. And he gets his second frag for it. What a round from Inters.
It was a well-played clutch. Copenhagen Flames has got a lack of information. They're not really sure what's going on. Even Shiro gets a 1 in that angle from the top of Connector. He's getting crunched in. A lot of pressure being applied on those jungle players. Yabi doing as much in the round as possible. Roy continuing to add numbers to his tally. Just not quite without this clutch. Gets himself over to 29 kills. And Inters plays that 1v2 to perfection. Beautiful utility usage. And that gets Gambit on to 12.
Force invest for Copenhagen Flames. Mac 10 in for Hooksy. Ziffon had a pistol, but Shiro's taking him out of place, so he's going to be irrelevant in this round. Axel not expecting the aggression from the T side, but the flashbang coming in from whomever that was is good enough to allow the assist. I think that was Inters that threw that. Now he's out of the apartments to look for 2 more frags, and Copenhagen Flames capitulate again against Gambit.
The problem they're facing here is a lot of their rounds are coming down to sort of 2vx situations, 1vx situations. It's the mid and early round that they're struggling in. Gambit are applying a lot of early man advantages onto them, and even for Nico Odos, he's alone, back in that top mid position, deals with the first player. There's even another one in T-Spawn.
They've got a minute to hunt him down as well. 43 HP. His next face will end up being his last. Try and look in. So back down towards that underpass control. Axel's ready, spotted. At this point, they're just looking for him. Making their move to the left-hand side. He's going to try and press the issue back towards apartments, but there's so many CTs to deal with. Does find Inters at least. Next couple of kills come in a little bit more difficultly, and yeah, Axel gets his pick. 13 to the ball of Gambit. And half buy, I imagine, for Copenhagen Flames. Get that last buy back in around 29, surely.
You have to imagine so. There's not a buy on the table here. And what a recovery this has been from Gambit in their second half on their CT side. They were down 5-13 at one point, and now the difference is only one. One more round here up against an Eco, and we've got a tied up scoreline.
It's likely they'll get it as well. AK's on 2 CT players. AWP in on Shiro's part. The Eagles across the entire Copenhagen Flames board. Set passive on their early default.
You'd have to imagine for Copenhagen Flames, they'd love someone to be able to support Roy. He's up at 29. The next fragger up there is Nico Erdos, only 16. And we've started to see in both of the games on the semi-finals, it's been the veteran players to really step up. Victor in that last game for Fiend. Now we're seeing Roy having some high impact. Even onto this Eco. Don't put it out of the equation that Copenhagen Flames can't get a steal. They've done it before.
M4's watching Roy with the Deagle. Enters, evades that nade. Hook C sees him, taps. Looks for the secondary pick, can't quite land it. Enters with that frag, and Gambit make their moves up and into the defaults. Roy caught by Nafani, you'll burst fire. Can't land the frag, unfortunately. He's doing everything that he can here. Roy sprayed up, takes on towards with the Deagle in hand. Shiro with the AWP frag. Yabby with the Deagle back here. 3v3 scenario. The low HP across the T-side line in general. Shiro's going to get pressured. Yabby's got another kill. Hold on. Don't let this be a half-by steal, Gambit.
They've got 2 players coming through onto the B side, high HP, and even Incendio going down to default. That's going to spread.
Yeah, Yabby's got to get out of there. He can't afford to stick around. Roy set with the M4. Smokes up. He's going to wait. Nico Otis with the AWP frag. It's Inters 1v3. Gambit about to lose to the half by. Roy's Deagle does get caught off. Now they know where the last man is for certain. AK at his feet. Nico Otis AWPs to that default. They don't know where Yabby is. They can probably get a decent guess. Burst fire as the AWP continues looking in. Then just swaps out to the other M4. Time's running short though. Where's he going to go with this? Back up towards the stairs. Kit's still in play, but time's so low. Nico Otis takes the swing. The spray is good enough. He does get the kill, but it won't get a clutch here. Yabby will hold off. All players will go up. But for Copenhagen Flames, that's an all-important half-by to get to map and match points.
Roy didn't give up on that peak. Did he notice how long he's trying to get this jewel in the window position? It finally comes out, and Yabby, my goodness, the youngster again has just delivered. He was even on low HP, 22 onto that fight to Shiro, and Nico Enos makes a play, starts moving forward with that AWP, looking up to the stairs position, and that ruins the economy to come out for Gambit. This is the best chance yet Copenhagen Flames have of going up against a terrible looking buy.
And what's that? The 4th eco half-by round that Copenhagen Flames have won in this series.
Ridiculous.
Somewhere in that ballpark. Gambit, with how close these maps have been, you must imagine how they're feeling about those kind of rounds, thinking if only we had just played a bit more confidently, if only we were able to deal with those pistols like we should do, maybe we might be in a better position. Roy's 30 bombs. Copenhagen Flames have AKs. Up against the 1 M4, the 2 FAMASs, and the 2 pistols. Gambit, it's going to take a miracle to get them back from here. They've only got 2 rounds to make up, but the buy is so awkward, and Ziffon's found the first kill.
Oh, even Yabby, they're not expecting him on the other side of the apartment.
GG.
It's a 5-on-3 now for Copenhagen Flames. Axel, Shiro, and Hobbit is the last couple to work with, and already some of those rifles they had, Jade, they're gone.
That's GG for me. M4 and FAMAS dropped. Copenhagen Flames have got to make a misstep, and Gambit have got to punish it and take a mile away from them. Shiro backing up on that B site alongside Axel. Hobbit set on the A defensive. Copenhagen Flames have walked into a slightly more heavier site presence. But even then, these guns should still win these fights.
It seems as if it's almost a double pump fake. Just trying to see if they could draw a mistake, force out Hobbit to make an aggressive move, knowing that he's the A player. And for Copenhagen Flames, it just comes down to getting the information, not running into that stack on B.
40 seconds. Smokes coming in towards the mid. Control that bomb still in apps. T side. Walking their way up, Nikolos with the AWP, Hobbit with a CZ is going to catch the information. It's a split play. Axile and Shiro, what can you do? Hobbit tagged up, 5-7 close here, got to get these kills. He can't do it. Famas doesn't hold on either. And the Kremlin has fallen, the number 2 team in the world. Denmark rules supreme as they look to go to the grand finals of the ELISA Invitational. You can forgive the other invitees, but not this one. It's a 2-0 as Copenhagen Flames set up a second upset against Gambit.
Oh my goodness, that is the biggest upset we have had all year in the ELISA events. What a result to come in for Copenhagen Flames, and to do it in 2-0, to do it in that first half scoreline. They looked class, they looked on point, and they deserve it today.
Well, I might not have been convinced of this team coming into today, but a best of 3 like this most certainly might have tipped the odds back in their favour. Copenhagen Flames, our final team in the finals.
And what happened there? We painted a picture where Gambit has an easy final from the ELISA Invitational and maybe even wins the tournament outrageously easily. But at the moment, we're in a world where it's only Fiend and Copenhagen Flames left.
Yeah, it's going to be cool if we go a little bit into the future to see those teams clash each other. If someone didn't catch it, they played a 7th to 8th place game in the IMRMR for place for the major 2 mapper.
Oh, that's right.
Both maps went overtime. Second map went 4 overtimes. So we might be in for quite a treat for the finals. But if we go back a little bit to this one, similar signs in this map as we saw in the first one. It's Copenhagen Flames with the early lead. They dictate the game, and then when there's the last call saloon coming in, that's when Gambit starts playing again. And then yet another weird buy round, or like a half eco, almost a full eco from the Copenhagen Flames guys with the Deagles banging in. They win the closer round. Money goes to shambles for Gambit. And no recovery from the Gambit guys.
Yeah, that eco was massive, and it was Roy himself, of course, is always putting in the work. That prolonged duel in the window against, I think it was Nafani. It seems like a very small detail. Like some players would probably be even too eager at that point to just go for the duel. Like whatever, I've got a deagle. It's an eco. What can we possibly make out of this? But Roy knows that there's always a chance he gets that kill, and that kind of starts opening up the A side, and eventually that's where Gambit crumbles. And yeah, that was the story all throughout the series. They lost to so many ecos.
That was the weird part for me. Like this is not the Gambit we know. We know they're clinical. They're the ones that are coming in, even in the situations where they're kind of already down and out, but still managing to get them. But this time, they were on the receiving end, and that was kind of weird to see.
Yeah, and there was definitely a good start for Copenhagen Flames. They had 10-5 on a start on the first half, and it just looked good for them. And in my opinion, or I don't know, even if it's my opinion at the moment, it should be a shared opinion. They did a really good job on this best of 3.
Well, yeah, 2-0 in Gambit is not an everyday treat.
Good.
So, job done. That's a pretty good Friday nights or Friday afternoon. I don't know what the word is, but just a good job, I guess.
Yeah, super good. And similar storylines in both of the maps. Gambit just waking up a little bit too late, and they put themselves into a position where those 2-3 mistakes just cost them the whole map, because they're already down and out 10-5 and 11-5 after Copenhagen Flames win the pistol. The comeback starts, but a little too late.
Yeah, and I think it's a perfect time to take on an interview. And it's Yabi from Copenhagen Flames, of course, because they won the game. And Yabi, hello and welcome. And that was an amazing map from you guys. Congratulations. How are you?
Thank you. I'm, of course, feeling very good. It was a nice win.
All right, that was definitely a nice win. We have some questions, and Natu wants to start. So
I just want to ask. You're a young guy, early parts of your career, but you look like a seasoned veteran. Where does that come from? You're so calm in all those situations, and where does that come
from? I don't think it come anywhere from. I just think we are taking the games like pretty calm and trying to stay as calm as we can in the game, so we don't take like bad decisions and just don't do bad things in the game.
All right, congrats on my part also, and you've been putting in some amazing performances, especially in the semifinal yesterday, and now against Gambit. What was the game plan going against the world number 2, where you were viewed as the heavy underdog? Anything special?
We didn't really have that much anti-strat, so we just played our game. We know their engine wasn't their best map, so we were pretty comfortable going into that, but Mirage is one of our worst maps, but yeah, we somehow managed to figure out how to play against the playstyle they played.
Yeah, for sure you did. What did Gambit feel like on the server? Did it feel like they made some mistakes there?
I think we won some eco rounds where we just did some sick shots with Deagle, and somehow the round turned into our favor. So yeah, I think we won some lucky rounds, but I also think we played really good.
If we look to the future, you're gonna be facing against Fiend, and if my memory serves me correct, you guys had quite the game against them in the RMR for that major spot. The overtimes all over the place, especially second map. 4 overtimes? What's your expectation going to the final?
I think our expectation is, of course, to win. We won against them the last 2 times, I think, and now we are back home playing. So I think it will be a little bit more rough to play against them, but I think we can still take the win.
Okay. All right. And I still have one question that I want to ask. And now that Copenhagen Flames is one of those teams that has been secured at the majors, what is the positioning for you guys on the majors? Where do you guys want to aim for?
I'm not pretty sure if the format, how is that out yet? Like
I think
no idea.
I think it's the same as before. This is just assuming, but I think it's first as a group stage with the challenger and the contenders, and then once those 8 teams are solved, then you have the legends and the rest of the 8 that went through the first part to play against each other, and then from those 16 teams you have the remaining 8 that go to the playoffs.
Okay, so we haven't really talked about the major yet because we have these games to focus on, but I think our goal is probably just to go through the first stage, just play some good games, not go into the tournament and play scared, so we can't really get something out of it when we look back on it. So yeah, I think that's just our main goal.
All right, that is reasonable. And thank you for taking your time to talk with us. It was nice to have you here. Guys, congratulations. And
thank you.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see you in the finals.
See you.
What a humble guy.
Yeah, nice young dude. Very, down to earth, cool, calm, collected, just like on the server. I mean, it all kind of connects. Makes sense.
Yeah, I like the answer where you asked about his demeanor on the server being very calm. Where does it come from? I don't know. It's just, I don't know if it comes from anywhere. It just is.
Yeah,
it just happens.
I was thinking maybe it comes from his parents or something, that they're calm, or I don't know.
Yeah,
it's in the blood. Who knows?
Or maybe it's a Danish thing, I don't know. But yeah, we are going to talk a little bit more about the last game that we had. We're not just going to forget it still. We had a few rounds that were looking really good, and especially 2 of them that piqued your interest. Want to explain?
Yeah, out of the first half, two rounds especially piqued it. And the first one here on round 8 is just a really solid defense, if I remember correctly, on the A side where Gambit is going for these A split, and I heard the casters also talking about it. The preparation seemed to be there, and they were ready for all these peaks. Nikodos is holding these angles, and this is pretty much the building stones of this great CT half. And as you can see, the scoreline, it was 4-3 for Gambit, but Copenhagen Flames just coming back, and this was another nice example of a retake where I could see a world where Gambit could have taken a 6-9. Maybe that would have been enough if things would have gone better on this round, but just a nice, calm and collected 3v5 retake from Copenhagen Flames there.
All right, and even though Gambit, well, they lost 2-0, and it's unfortunate, but hey, the better team won, of course, and we still have one round that actually goes towards Gambit just a little bit.
This is where the CT side comeback started to mount 13-8, but still very doable in the CIS minor or the RMR event. Rather, Gambit came back from some pretty big deficits, and this was a round where they started to play more decisive on the CT side, taking that underground control and winning fights that they're probably not supposed to win. And yeah, that was nice, but in the end, not enough.
Yeah, it's
Close but no cigar.
Yeah, it's a little bit close, but no cigar. And how does it feel, for example, or how does it feel? It must feel bad for Gambit, of course. Just to come, it just felt like they woke up a little bit too late on the games. That's pretty much what I just want to say.
Yeah, I mean, let's be frank. Their main goal is to major. They're here, as we heard before, to see their mistakes. Well, there were plenty here in this best of 3 series. So I'm sure they're not taking this too harshly. Just kind of, I guess, forget about it in tomorrow and then start grinding for the major. But it's not the greatest sign. That's for sure. On the other hand, for Copenhagen Flames, going towards the major, should they win this tournament, I mean, they've just taken this call from Gambit. Now they get to play against Fiend in the finals. That would be yet another great bit of motivation booster and confidence boost as we head towards the major.
Yeah, especially Copenhagen Flames looking that good. There is an extra player in the server that I want to talk about, who is Roy. Yep. He was just posting numbers on this game.
Yeah, he does it like pretty much every game. On Ancient, it was a little bit of a more quiet one, but he came back on the second map. These are obviously the Mirage stats, getting to those 30 kills, which is the Roy special. I kind of feel like the 30 bomb, he does it so often that it doesn't even surprise me anymore. Over 100 ADR, even this round. Just great control with the AK. He's just... You can just trust him, like just multi-kill central when Roy plays.
Yeah, this run specifically, 13-11, he gets the one of the connector guys and the CT spawn guy in the end there to clutch it in the end. Yeah, he's definitely seems to be a bit of a definition of calm Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
effective. Very effective.
Yeah, he pretty much had the double kills from 2 of his players, so from his own team. And those are some really good numbers to post up in a map. What is it? Was like 30 or something like that? It's insane.
I'm going to assume he's probably the cool bet MVP.
Yeah, he was the cool bet MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Yabby this time, but can't be mad. Roy really put in the work.
Yeah. Well, you kind of spoiled it already, but yeah, Roy was the cool bet MVP.
Well, let's get it out.
Yeah, let's just see it on the screen. Oh, yeah.
Not ready, of course. We just ruined production's life.
Cool. The smoothness of the show has been gone. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 kills and 18 deaths, even 4 assists, helping his teammates.
Again, just on Mirage, so just take that a caveat. In the series, he must have had like 50-ish kills. But yeah, no, overall, just a great game.
And I want to remind you guys that this is against Gambit. That is the caveat for me.
Yeah, sure. Again, talking about those confidence boosters, Roy, seeing him putting the work in against all these teams that come ahead of him. It's a very, very good sign for Copenhagen Flames.
Just a little question that I want to ask. Before everything is settled and we go to the majors, will a form like this continue there?
I don't have a crystal ball. I do not know.
Yeah, I'd say why not? It's a week and a half away, so hitting your form peak at this point, it seems good. I don't see a world where they would magically lose it in 10 days.
All right, yeah, that's reasonable. I like that. Yeah, so the next up that we have is actually the leaderboards before we actually go and take
the brackets.
The brackets. I always say the brackets. Yeah, let's check out the brackets where we are and where we landed right now.
Here we are.
Yeah, this is kind of odd looking at the moment. We have so many invited teams. It's Gambit, Fnatic, Big, and Ends, and it's Copenhagen Flames versus
You say that, but that's just another day in ELISA.
A Bulgarian team in the final. That's almost every time the case. Yeah.
Always happens.
Doesn't surprise me. Should have seen this coming.
Yeah, but if we go all the way back, well, we don't. It's already gone. Forget about it. But yeah, surprises are always the name of the game when we come here. It's how it is. And yeah, I think this final should be an interesting game for sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to wrap it up here. We are going to a little bit of a longer break. After that, we do have the finals, which is Copenhagen Flames versus Fiend. Remember to be here at that time. 20 see you.
Red Bull Flick Invitation comes to Helsinki in November. Amateurs challenges the top names in Counter-Strike like Alexi B and Valk, Dota and Diha, Nico and Hunter. Come and witness live the race for 50,000 euros. Get your tickets now at redbull.fi/flick.
Bye.